Hey guys, are we live? We are live. Please let me know. We are going to talk about
Hey
Ben.
guys,
We're going to talk about Reckless Ben a little later, but we're going to talk about Ethan Klein and the Snark. Snark has returned. Oh, it's a very interesting scenario today that happened with AC. Hey, Alex of Fiction. Hope. I hope you and Jules are having fun. Yeah, looked good. The pizza looked good. Okay. Based. Yeah. So somehow they have returned. They have no self-awareness. Now there are things I want to correct because I see. We'll go back to H3 Snark a little later. But I'm seeing things that like this is a automatic review, which is very different from a. In this case, it would be a defendant review, like a Doe review. So an automatic review, a automatic review comes down from the higher level court. So this is not a automatic review or automated review. This is a review instigated by the Does, the losing party. Yes, and like the signature you see, and this is a very scary signature. If you are a fan of trees or the environment, this is the one signature you don't want to see. Our good friend Leah Rosa Rolik is back, and she's the only attorney handling this case. So yes, Snark has come back. Again, I'm going to talk about their actual chances of winning. What does this actually mean? Why are they doing this? And we'll look at the H3 leftover Reddit thread where they have some pretty insane takes on this. Now, typically speaking, when you hire a lawyer and you lose in the manner that H3 Snark loses, you're not going to want to hire that lawyer again on your appeal. Because by definition, they don't understand the case well enough. Now, when you appeal it to a higher court, what you're saying is that I forgot what her name was, that the previous judge was wrong on the crazy, right, Alex? It was wrong on the interpretation of the law, which means no new facts can be introduced. Which often it makes it very difficult for the party who loses to appeal and win. An automated appeal, this is not an automated appeal, this is appeal coming from the losing side, is when you have the Ninth Circuit, for example, is just independently looking at this case and saying, oh, something's not right here. That, you have like a 50-50 chance of the appeal being overturned. This appeal, I think, is less than 10% chance of working. But then you have to ask yourselves, like, why would Snark do this? So I'm asking the general question, not even outside of the law, just a general question for you guys. Why would Snark... So what's the other option? The other option is prepare to court. Save your money. Don't pay later. So this costs money. This costs money. It costs paper and ink and all this good stuff, right? So the question becomes, why don't you just guys gear up for court? Why would you appeal what I think and what you should probably know is a losing argument? It's to delay. So in my opinion, they're not going to win this. Now again, you can never say never, right? The courts have taken cases where, like Carl Jobs, for instance, versus Billy Mitchell. 95% of the people, including Moist Critical, who is a really intelligent individual, thought that Carl Jobs was going to beat Billy Mitchell. He was shocked when Billy Mitchell won because the claims were not anything involving cheating. Carl presented it as Billy Mitchell is suing me for defamation because I called him a cheater, but Billy Mitchell is a cheater, and here's my proof. But it was about Apollo Legend. So 95% of the people there were absolutely wrong about who was going to win. So I always leave a little wiggle room, but this is pretty obvious to me that H3 Snark is delaying. Now, why might they delay? Now, this is where, like, we talk about something else that's happening in another case. If you guys remember this case, Pixie versus Destiny, we actually asked Destiny about it. There's a huge battle over a term called spoilation. Oh, I guess like it must be in the law. But there's a huge battle over the term of spoilation. Okay, so spoilation means essentially that the evidence is getting cold. Or maybe they're trying to like destroy the evidence. That's what I think they're doing here. Evidence spoliation is the destruction, alteration, hiding, and failure to preserve the evidence relevant to a legal issue. It occurs when a party knows or reasonably should know that the material may be important to be pending. So let me give you a theory here. Let me give you a kind of an interesting idea. You have a shit ton of evidence because you are literally a subreddit of a snark. You have evidence on all types of things, all types of people, why would you hire somebody who's going to write 1,881 pages? That's insane, right? It's insanity. Why would you look, like, out of all the lawyers you can find, you found a lawyer who on every single turn, even like her vacation time, she wanted to tell you, which is bizarre, right? Shout out to Judge Sally Kim. You found a lawyer that is like writing almost 2,000 pages of legal content, which I've never seen before, right? Like, I mean, this is for 46 docket entries, this is ridiculously large amount of content coming from Leah Rosa Rulick. I mean, it looks like a delay tactic, no? It looks like a delay tactic to me. Yes, Alex, yes, a different judge reviews the appeal. Typically, 3 judges will review it. So not just one judge, right? Hey, the anti-Mormon. Okay, we will get to Reckless Ben probably in the next half hour, 45 minutes. We do have a really well-written, shout out to Ristic Siphon. We have Reckless Ben. We have Reckless Ben. We have big updates from Reckless Ben, thanks to our good friend, Ristic Siphon. But yeah, I wanted to explain like what I think is going on here is it's a delay tactic. So does it make sense that they are attempting to delay this as much as possible so they can start deleting? Yes, I'm very, very happy, Alex. And shout out to Ristic Siphon for the Reckless Ben stuff. We have a docket. I think the docket is in our Discord. Yes, the docket is in the Discord. So spoilation is like either you're trying to destroy evidence or evidence is going to automatically be deleted. It definitely seems like they are dragging this out as long as possible. Their attorney is not any good. But the one thing that she's like incredibly good at is like just like killing trees. But understand that both parties have to read the 2,000 pages. So like if both parties have to read the 2,000 pages, that takes time, that takes effort, and then they have to respond to it, and then there's another 2,000 pages, you know. It's hey Kelsey, it's a bizarre statement to make, but like if you are destroying evidence, then yes, Leah Rosa Vulik would be your lawyer of choice. Now, you wouldn't tell Leah that you're going to destroy evidence. Have they considered converting to Mormon? Hey, Tony the Yellow. Maybe. We'll talk about that in Reckless Ben. Now, part 2 has come out, so we can actually look at part 2. Yeah, thank you for the donation, Tony the Yellow. Part 2 has come out. I just want you to know that there is no chance. Like, again, I'm saying 90-10 only because, like, I give, like, the worst case is 10%. Because you really have no idea what can really happen, right? So I'm not plaintiff's lawyer. I'm not defendant lawyer. I'm not the judge. So they have more information that may not be public. I'm only basing it on information I currently have. So, yeah, imagine being so afraid of your name because you said something so bad. And again, after we're done reviewing, this is not a super long document. I'll tell you why Leia is a bad lawyer. This is written incredibly poorly. Oh, welcome WM 776 to Umu. Yeah, I haven't seen part 3. I don't know if it's made yet. I guess it's made on his Patreon. I'll go check a little later. I've been dealing with like an AC/plumbing issue all day. The issue finally got resolved around 7 today, so we can live stream at 8, which is great. So they're fighting tooth and nail. Very interesting arguments are being made. Essentially, it's very templated. I wouldn't be surprised if, like, at the office, they just have this for appeals. And then they templated it, and then Leia just used the template. They're asserting First Amendment issues. So they're asserting First Amendment issues and the right to be anonymous. Here, like Perman, the order compels disinterested third parties read in Discord to produce information that will reveal the doe's identities, while the does assert a constitutional privilege and remaining anonymous. You do have a constant, but then you lose that. It's kind of like elementary school. The reason that, like, these, like, snarkers are so dumb is because they never, like, learned, like, basic elementary school stuff. They think they live in their own little bubble, right? So let's say that you have a bathroom privilege in elementary school. So every time, you don't need to raise your hand. You just go up front, you take the bathroom pass, and you go to the bathroom. But let's say, like, you're going to the bathroom, like, every 5 minutes. That privilege is going to be taken away from you. So even though you might have a constitutional privilege to remain anonymous, if you commit contributory copyright infringement, you no longer have that privilege. So this is basically... Oh, thank you. Yeah, H-Town, Pokemon cards, and the law. Exactly. That's what... and Legos. Now we talk about Legos. So that's exactly what privilege... I mean, I don't understand. Like, this is exactly, like, what happened here. And even, no matter how much you tell... Correct. So the right to bear arms, right? So you have the right to bear arms, which means to have a gun. If you use that gun and start shooting people and they start dying... Second Amendment. No one is contesting your privilege to own a gun. Maybe after you're guilty, then we'll have to take that right away from you, a la Tectone, right? We're contesting we were saying, hey, no, you committed the crime of shooting people. So this is something that, like, H3 Snark has a really difficult time understanding. They think that this is an absolute privilege, right? When in fact it is a privilege that if you violate your right to have that privilege, it will be taken away. And one thing would be civil. Yeah. So I'm comparing the gun scenario with criminal. I'm comparing this with civil. So when you are being sued and there is a prima facie case of copyright infringement or contribute, remember, Frogan's name, and I think this is important to remember, Frogan's name, real name, wasn't out there until she was sued. But even Frogan, with her lawyer, I guess, realized that, no, I can't say that he doxed me. Other people would say, oh, they doxed Frogan. No, there is no doxing. You sued somebody. That's what happened. This happens thousands of times a day, right? The same thing. Oh, we're going to take a look at other stuff. Yeah, we have a bunch of stuff from Reckless Ben. But I want you guys to know, like, how silly this is. How just kind of, this really, like, when I saw them appeal it, I immediately thought, this is spoilation. Like, that's what in my experience, the only reason they would do this, is for that. And they say Denon's, but even Denon's wouldn't make the argument, I got doxxed. No, you just got sued. It's a very different thing. But H3 Snark continues to make this argument, oh, we got doxxed, oh, he's going to come after us. No, he's coming after you to sue you for copyright infringement. That's it. Contributory copyright infringement. So, yeah, so this is it. There's something really weird about... So, many times, and I don't know why she does this, Leia is just going to kill more trees. This is completely unnecessary. So, for example, what is this? This is her copy and pasting something the judges are already going to know. Leia has this really weird thing where, like, she will copy and paste instead. Okay, so I'll give you an example. Spoilation. Okay, I'll give you an example. So after everything was said and done, she, like, sent this thing here. Where is it? Oh, and Leia's performance in court is really bad. She was very nervous. So her hand, like, she started shaking uncontrollably. And this is the person who's going to handle your appeal. She barely could stand up straight. Like, this is not... Like, if I was H3 Snark and I saw her performance, I would be like, no, we need to send somebody else from the law firm. We cannot send her to the law firm because we are going to get crushed. Yeah. So, yeah, this is it. Number one, at this point in time, the case is over. So, on January 20th, the case is over. The only thing left to do is for the judge to decide. Randomly, on March 3rd, Leia wants everyone to know she's on vacation. Again, this vacation, becomes completely irrelevant because the case is decided before June. Before June, right? We're still in May. So completely unnecessary. But more to the point, this is like something that annoys me as a lawyer. So a new case, the Supreme Court case came out. This is the citation here. So any judge, including Sally Kim, is going to know about this case. And if you cite the case, it's really easy to find because it is a Supreme Court case. But in the attempt to kill more trees, she has copied and pasted this thing, the whole case, as if a judge or as if Ethan Klein's lawyer or as if they couldn't find it. So, like, this thing could have just been literally one page. This is enough. This is enough. But somehow she made something that should have been 2 pages at most 30 pages. Oh. And that's the same here. Like, this doesn't need to, like, if you say General Order 44... Yeah, if you mention it here, the court is going to know what that is. There is no need to, there's no need to educate the court on what this is. So it's kind of like, why do we need this? Yeah, maybe Ristic Siphon, convince a client, like, so, she really is out to kill trees. Like, there's no other explanation for half the shit she does. Yeah, let me show you this. Okay, let me show you how many trees he has killed for no reason. Okay, so she did this, okay? So she sent all this, right? Then there was a motion for correction. So she's the one sending the documents, and then she has to correct her own documents, and then she corrected them again. Do you know, like, this correction costs 548 pages a person. This correction, so that's 548, 158. That's 700 pages of corrections being made. I've always said, hey, if you're not going to file something correctly, you can take your time to make sure it's correct. You are the moving party. You're the ones filing the paper. Like, you don't need to file this unless it's correct. I also said this about Carl Jobs as well. It really does seem like she's wasting time. Look, this is September 22nd, and she's already making corrections on the 24th. This is like a student turning in their paper. Let's say the paper is due whenever you want it to be due, but by the end of the semester, right? Within statute of limitations. This is like a student turning in the paper the first day they receive it. And then 2 days later, they're like, oh, no, I need to take that paper back. Let me give you a different paper. Then the question is, why did you turn in the paper Monday when the paper wasn't ready and had lots of mistakes to it? Look, like, look at this. Motion, correction of docket, like, well, nothing happened. Like, you turned in the paper on the 22nd, and then suddenly you needed to correct 700 pages? 2 days later? Why don't you just turn in the paper on the 24th? Like, what is going on, you know? Okay, to end it, let's make fun of the H-free leftovers a little bit. They have a very unique take on, and then we'll go to Reckless Ben. H-free leftovers has a very unique take on, and okay, so maybe I need to look. These guys are busy, man. These guys are busy. I saw something recently. Ah, here we go. Okay, so they have realized H-free Snark mods appeal to Quas for denial. Can somebody explain? I'm high and dumb. That is the #1 upvoted post on H-free leftovers on something as critical as this. If anyone should be interested in how this goes, it might be the subreddit of snarkers who basically are the same. So I am not a lawyer and I don't have any legal knowledge. If anyone with legal expertise, which is none of them, have any input, I thought it would be worth posting. Yes, their #1 upvoted post is, someone explain, I'm high and dumb. This is the quality of participants that if you choose to be a H-free Snark member, this is the level of intelligence you're going to be dealing with, right? The Snark mod said F it and used a technicality to appeal to the 9th Circuit before Reddit and Discord hands over anything, asking for a freeze in hearing. Yes. If the 9th Circuit accepts, Ethan's going to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars. Incorrect. Incorrect. If the 9th Circuit accepts, thousands of trees will have to die now. You think Leia is going to sit, you think Leia is done killing trees? No. It's not. So appeals is very cheap compared to trial. Compared to getting a judge decision, it is very cheap. So in the natural sense, like appeals, so like, okay, I'm just going to Google it, right? Appeals are very inexpensive. So appeal court, for lawyers. Appeals, because there's not much to talk about. So it's between $20,000 and $75,000. You have to assume Rom is giving some type of discount because he's literally like half his portfolio was Ethan Klein related stuff. But compared to trial, appeals is cheap because there's not much you need to do. In appeals, your lawyer doesn't do all that much because the facts are already cemented. There's like no wiggle room in the facts. Now it's just the law. But we might get to see Leia perform again for us. So that's a good thing. And they never talk about how much Leia before he sees a single IP address or email. No, I no longer think it's about IP addresses or email. I think it's about spoliation of evidence. I think right now, kind of like how Destiny wiped his Discord, I think right now they are deleting everything they can. And they're trying to figure out like what not to do. Like, if I was a betting man, I would bet that there are certain things that they have on their Discord, maybe communications with Hassan, maybe communication with Frogan, maybe communication with Denins, that they are absolutely destroying right now. So I think they understand, hey, so again, this is my opinion. I think they understand, hey, our names are going to become made public eventually. There's no way around it. Our names will be made public. But we need to buy enough time to wipe out the evidence. Great move. Great move. Yeah, it's not to avoid discovery, it's to destroy discovery. Right? You're buying time. It's exactly what happened in Pixie vs. Destiny. Right? The fungi, that's what they call us, the fungi. Talking points is that mods are doing this to avoid discovery. No. Discovery is coming whether they like it or not. There's no way they can avoid discovery. So I don't know who's saying avoid discovery, but discovery is coming. There's someone over there pretending to be a lawyer. Oh, fake lawyer, right? So this guy is not a lawyer. And I like how I assume this must be coming from Lust, but I need to be clear. There's no discovery to avoid at this time. Correct. But the longer this goes on, the more the evidence becomes spoiled via time. It is a constitutional right, just like it is a constitutional right to have a gun, but it is not a constitutional right for me to kill somebody with my gun. It is a constitutional right for you to have freedom of speech, correct? That's correct. But it is not a constitutional right for you to copyright infringe or contribute or copyright infringe somebody else's work. So, yeah. That's crazy, right? These people are so fucking dumb. The first comment is, I'm high and dumb. And none of these people have admitted they are a lawyer, because none of them are a lawyer. So again, one of these things where like everyone online pretends to be super smart and like really intelligent, and they have no idea what any of this means. Oh, this super smart guy, right? Loss prevention, right? I would say it's very likely to accept it, not 100%, but much more likely to not. What? Yes, you completely explained it. That's the pro-man exception about it. It is because of that and I fully expect Ethan or Lust to call this a loophole. The Ninth Circuit will probably accept this. No, I don't have any doubts that they'll probably accept it. They're just going to say that you're wrong. They're just going to say, hey, Leia, you make no sense. We're going to agree. Because, like, for the Ninth Circuit to reject this, they have to be saying Sally Kim, who's a really good judge, is wrong. So, for the layman, okay, so let's say you don't really understand the law. Then the question becomes, do you think Sally Kim, with all her experience in copyright, specifically in this type of situation, which she said, she didn't overreach, do you think the judge was unfair or wrong in her interpretation of the law? Sally Kim has been, what, a judge for how long? How long have these Redditors understood the law? Yeah, so how long has he been a judge for? Long time, probably. This is a shout out to Sally Kim. So you're like, so here's the thing with appeal. You've already lost. A judge has already said you guys lose. So unless the judge is wrong about the law, a judge who is every single day, you can see this, every single day she has court cases. Every Monday she goes on Zoom and has these court cases and these things happening. And so you're saying somebody who practices law at a high level, at a judge level, is wrong, but you, a Redditor, know more than them. Okay. That's their argument. Their argument is Leia, AIDS-free Snark mods, these random people, right? I'm not a lawyer. Yes, I know you're not a lawyer. None of you are. 0 of you guys are lawyers. I understand that. How likely is it that a judge who practices copyright law, who decides cases for years, decades and decades and decades, is wrong about the law? Not the facts, the law. So the facts don't matter anymore. The facts are set in stone, and the facts were very good for Ethan Klein. How likely is it that Sally Kim, a judge with probably decades of experience in copyright law, is wrong about the law compared to a Redditor? Look, so everything in the Snarker mind is like a battle of like good and evil. Like Ethan Klein is like the devil, and they're like Frogan is like a god or something. Like this is very alarming. I think for society in general. This basically makes the legal landscape incredibly precarious, and it is saying to me that people haven't worked out yet that this is literally a battle over the future of internet privacy. No, this is a battle over copyright infringement. Look, you can say whatever you want. Like, they're not being... Like, here's the H-Free Snark. This is how dumb they are. They think Ethan Klein is suing the H-Free Snark mods because they said mean things about him. That would be a different lawsuit. That lawsuit is called defamation. That lawsuit is impossible to win most times. Let me repeat this again. They're assuming, wrongfully so, that Ethan Klein is suing H-Free Snark Reddit mods for defamation, right? For saying mean things about Ethan and right? But they're being sued for something far more simple and more ancient in the law: copyright infringement. Contributory copyright infringement. Contributory copyright infringement has nothing to do with the First Amendment in terms of like what you're saying is nasty or, hey, it's provocative. It's all this stuff, right? It's you stole my work, or you helped aid in stealing my work. So they're still making this really bizarre defamation argument. Ethan Klein is not suing Denon for defamation. He is not suing Frogan for defamation. He's suing Noah Sampson for defamation, but that's a totally different case, a totally different video. So this idea that they are battling for the future of it, no. This is copyright. Napster, LimeWire, this has been already solidified in case law. You cannot steal somebody's content online. Right? The charge. And this is why Carl Jobs got away with it so long. No one actually looked at the claims. There was, I think, 4 or 5 claims. They mentioned Apollo Legend every claim. So Carl Jobs, in his imaginary head, made it about cheating, when none of the claims were about cheating. Billy Mitchell never sued Carl Jobs about cheating. Do you guys know that? Do you know this? Billy Mitchell never sued Carl Jobs about cheating. He sued Carl Jobs about Apollo Legend. But everyone online thought it was about cheating, because he kept saying it. Even his GoFundMe, I think, is very sus. Even today. So, H3 Snark, they want this to be about defamation. Defamation, one of the hardest lawsuits in the U.S. to win. Very easy to win in Canada, apparently, but it's not about defamation. It's not. Ethan Klein is not suing them over their right to speech, right? He's suing them because they stole or aided in stealing his content. That's very different. It's two completely different lawsuits. One is called defamation. One is called copyright infringement, or in this case, contributory copyright infringement. And this is something that H3 Snark, no matter how many times you tell them about this, they just won't get it. Ethan Klein is not suing them over the mean words they said. He's not suing them over them potentially calling him, allegedly calling Child Protective Services. He's not suing them over any of this stuff. They're not getting sued over any of this. Okay? Because that would be a defamation lawsuit. He's suing them because they stole content. And that is it's not the same lawsuit. It's not even the same, it's not the same, right? All right, I think that pretty much explains what I wanted to explain here. We'll give an update, but yeah, there's been a lot on Reckless Ben. If you don't know Reckless Ben, we'll watch a little bit of his newest video. It's a big Lego, but I wanted to show you another Lego video because I feel like I did show it before, but I didn't feel like I showed it all off. I want to show you how this company operates, and then we'll get to this. Let's see. Minifigs stole my Lego. So even by the title, it's probably not very good. Okay, maybe we'll find it later throughout doing this. Okay, so here we go. Thank you, Ristic Siphon, again.
What is he actually suing you for?
There's a list of like 10 things.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's
we
10.
have it.
Yeah, you can pull it up.
I didn't get a chance
haven't
to
read it yet.
It just came out.
I haven't read it either. I mean, we could go through.
You have a lawyer you like?
I've talked. I think Legal Eagle reached out. And
he's good.
They said they're going to set me up with the best lawyers like they can find. So
that's good.
What's really funny is that our lawyers are.
Legal Eagle is very good. Legal Eagle is he's a solid lawyer. He's very good. I don't have any doubt that Legal Eagle will be exactly like we'll be able to set him up with a good lawyer.
Because it's kind of been like, and Bricks and Minifigs knows this, is I think the justice system, it's not like, oh, I'm right, so I win, and you're wrong, so you lose. I think it's more like, I have money, so I win, and you don't have money, so you lose.
Yes, that's exactly correct. That has been the threat. So again, I think the legal system should change. I don't think lawyers should charge as much money as they can. I think just like how there's like a cap to like predatory loans, there should be a cap to like how much a lawyer can charge, right? So surprisingly, maybe we'll get into this. So I haven't seen the whole doc yet, but one of them has like a history with a legal collections agency or something like that. So one of these Bricks and Minifigure, I don't think he's a lawyer, but he's like worked with lawyers like a lot. So he understands the law.
And Bricks and Minifigs knows that, and that's why they're so confident being the wrong side of this and still thinking that they're going to come on top. Not because they're correct, but because they have more money. But now that we have public support behind us and we're going to get the best lawyers, now we're going to have the better lawyers.
They're fucked.
And yeah, so we're the right side and we're the side with the better lawyers. So they're just completely screwed now.
I'm glad you're in touch with Legal Eagle. That's a great resource. I would trust whoever he puts you in touch with. But it's not even like...
Yeah, so I would agree. Legal Eagle is not going to screw this guy. He's legit. So yeah, this is interesting. So the Lego company partnered with Bricks and Minifigs.
Would there be any...
This is incredibly interesting. So a week before Reckless Ben dropped his documentary, Lego partner. So people are asking, how come Lego doesn't disconnect from them? How come Lego doesn't, disassociate from them? Well, they're partners. So they signed a legal contract making them partners. So before you say, oh, Lego's innocent, everyone just buy Lego somewhere else. No. No. They are partners with Bricks and Minifig.
Any reason to reach out to Big Brick about this?
I've been trying. I have maybe 4 connections.
I just don't decode that.
He means the
Zach
Lego
thinks
company.
Reach out to Legos directly.
Bricks and Minifigs actually just started a partnership with Lego about a week or so before I released this video.
That's got to stop. Legos is so clean. They got to cut ties.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get a hold of Lego and see what the deal is.
Lego's got to let go.
Yeah.
Even Klein.
Come on now.
Not that good.
That's like a dad joke. So like every dad has Legos, right? This is very scary for Lego because I think Bricks and Minifig. I did a poll, and at least you guys, I did a poll, and most people think that like it's done. Bricks and Minifigs is dead. There's nothing that can happen to them. It's Bricks and Minifigs done after the thing, and 83%. I think it's correct. But now the problem is Lego going to be in trouble? Will Lego suffer due to their relationship? Most people, they're keeping this very hidden, but it's important. Lego is partnered with Bricks and Minifig. And the partnership was a week ago. That is not great for Lego. So, Bricks and Minifig, I think their reputation is, so bad. They're not going to recover. Yeah, I do think Lego has to speak up and say, hey, we didn't know what was going on. We don't condone this. Stop. And we're going to end the partnership. That would destroy Bricks and Minifig. So here's the scenario, right? If Lego says, hey, we don't want to partner with Bricks and Minifig anymore, that's like a signal to everyone else. Hey, this company's going under, right? Because all they do is sell, resell, buy, and sell Legos. So if Legos had a partnership and decided not to do it, that would destroy the company. Now, will Legos stand up like this? I don't know. But could it actually damage the Lego brand? Yeah, absolutely. I think so. Ben claimed after speaking with him, the CEO told the cops Ben threatened to suit up the building. Yeah. So this is where we're getting to the criminal. So I made a video. One of the most appalling things that you can do as a plaintiff is threaten jail time over a civil matter. So there's racketeering, there's RICO. Now he's saying, hey, Ben was going to shoot up my building and burn it down. These are things that can get you in jail for life. So I'm saying, there are certain Ethan Klein. Let's say Noah loses to him. He's not ending up in jail. No one Ethan Klein suing is going to end up with jail time, okay? Even Noah Sampson for defamation. It's civil. But what is very scary to me in terms of abuse of the law is that they have their lawyers threatening RICO, racketeering. Racketeering in Utah is 15 years, second-degree felony per count. So I think this is a very, very scary thing to do. I think this is absolutely abuse of the law. When you clearly know what's happening is a civil lawsuit, but you want to bring the cops in. You want to bring the criminal justice system in, right? This is a very, very poor behavior that, again, if you are a lawyer, and we're going to take a look at their lawyer, and you're doing this, I think there should be some type of punishment if there is no criminality to it. Because not only are you threatening, the fines and the settlement, you're threatening to put somebody in jail for life. That type of accusation. And I'm talking about the lawyer. I'm talking about CEO of the Bricks and Mortar. Like, that type of accusation is almost like when, let's assume, like, somebody makes an SA claim against you, and you're able to prove you're innocent. I've always believed that the person who made the SA claim, if there is enough proof to show that they lied about it, should be the one going to jail. There should be some type of consequence for making a fake SA claim, because it destroyed your reputation, but also it threatened to put you in jail for a long time, right? It threatened to put you in a registry. Like, it basically going to ruin your life, right? Jail time will ruin your life more than a fine will. 15 years of jail time is going to ruin your life forever. So I think when lawyers are threatening this, which doesn't apply to lawyers, right? Because then lawyers, I'm always going to do what my client tells me. I do think the client side, like, if they threaten RICO and racketeering, and clearly it's obvious as day, summary judgment, there is none of that stuff happening, actually. I think that the party presenting that should also face jail time. That's just my opinion to it, right? Again, this is why they want to put him in jail.
CEO is definitely covering up for what they're doing. Because when I asked the CEO, I said, hey, here's something that happened to one of your franchises. He's like, nope, didn't happen. Get out now or I'm calling the police.
He knew about it.
Yeah, so he knows about it. And
he wasn't like, tell me about this. What happened? I'm so concerned.
Yeah, he's like, nope, didn't happen. Don't leave now. Oh,
and yeah, shout out to Ethan Klein for getting Ben on. And also for a great interview. So Ethan Klein, shout out to Ethan Klein, great interview.
And then, I don't want to get into spoilers, but basically after I asked him about the situation, he called the police saying that I went inside the company and said that I was going to burn the whole place down and shoot everyone inside if he didn't give the Legos back. And now I'm facing a second-degree felony or Class B felony for that, and 20 years in jail for that statement.
That for you've absolutely for fucking sure never made.
I sent the police the whole raw footage.
Yeah.
And they're still sending me to court. Even after they watched the whole footage of me not making that claim.
You need a lawyer, bro. You never had a lawyer throughout all this? Because the whole time I was thinking, like, this guy needs a fucking
No, I sent
lawyer.
the police the raw footage of the whole conversation.
They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You need a good-ass lawyer to put all these fuckers in their place.
It seems like the police don't care about the evidence.
No,
and they just want to side with the Mormons. Yeah.
Yeah, they probably didn't even look at it.
Yeah. I don't know.
You need a lawyer, bro. You need a lawyer. And by the way, moving forward, making these videos, you need a lawyer.
Yeah, probably. But I get good content when they...
Yes, so, like, I was, like, going crazy. A lot of the stuff, like, we could go look at part 2, where he's, like, the police have cornered him. He's talking, like, a lawyer just steps in. What are you charging my client with? Oh, nothing? I see. Okay, we'll go. Goodbye. Like, it could have actually been, like, really... A lot of these stuff, like, with a good lawyer, or even an average lawyer, would have helped Ben. But yeah, that's the stuff they're trying to do to him. So, like, it's not enough to, like, sue him for defamation or civil something, intentional infliction of emotional distress. That's one of the things they're trying to sue him for. No, they're making lies about Ben, but putting these lies into criminal. And again, like, it sucks if you're Frogan and you're being sued by Ethan Klein, you don't have any money. I get that, but he's not going to jail. Frogan's not going to jail. Right? H3 Snark is not going to jail. But they're trying to put Ben, and I don't like it. I really don't like when lawyers try to do that, because it is abuse of the law, especially when it's not true.
You guys, maybe you don't want to give away the sauce, and that's fine if not, but without getting into specifics, throughout this video, you attempt, like, I think 3 different legal maneuvers to kind of reframe the situation to force the company to
we can talk about it. Okay, no, people have already seen it. There's no spoilers.
What I was curious about, because hearing about this HBO thing,
yeah,
you don't.
Yes. Alex says, by the way, Lust, you were spot on. You didn't know Ben didn't have. You knew Ben didn't have a lawyer. Yes, I have, like, a sense for these type of things, right? I knew the discount lawyer Frogan hired was not going to do anything. I told you guys that. I knew Leia didn't go to law school even before. I just looked at it and I said, huh, is this a real lawyer? and then you Google it. So I have this like sense, right, where like I know something is wrong, and maybe I don't exactly know. Like for instance, like it's very rare for somebody to be a lawyer who didn't go to law school. I think that's only available in like certain states. I don't think that's available in Texas, so I went or New York. But yeah, I knew Ben didn't have a lawyer. I knew this whole time, even now, like a legal eagle is introducing him to a lawyer, but that, in my opinion, means he hasn't chosen a lawyer yet. Does that make sense? So like, even now, he might not have a lawyer. Now he's going to get a lawyer in the future, but legal eagles introducing him to one, he still has to make the decision whether or not that's a good fit for him, right?
You don't work closely with the lawyer? You came up with all of those schemes? I just kind of assumed a lawyer told you, yeah, this would be a good way that you could go
I've never
about.
talked to a lawyer about a video.
Oh my God. I mean, that's both impressive, but you got to talk to a lawyer.
Look, I know, I understand your perspective where like you don't want it to inhibit the plot line, but also you need like a concierge. How do they say the Italians? Concierge.
Yeah.
So there's a baseball channel on YouTube. They cover baseball. Like he's doing like other sports too, but it's mostly baseball. And every time like he is in trouble for copyright, he just gives me a call. And within like 15 minutes, we can work it out. I can tell him what the dangers are. I can tell him, okay, X, Y, Z. I worked with gaming companies. Before. I can't go into details about like their games, but I mean, you probably played their games before. So like, I don't charge all that much. I charge, $300 an hour, and my consultation for 30 minutes is free. And probably within 30 minutes, like, you're going to figure out what the problem is. I have clients in the YouTube space now, and they have problems similar to Ben, not as extreme. I mean, it's not like they're going to face jail time, but they're about copyright issues. They give me a call, we talk about it for 15 minutes. I send them an invoice for like $150. Many times they will add a bonus to it because the problem has been solved, and we move on. Like everyone thinking that lawyers are really expensive are thinking about like trial attorneys. The majority of what I do is like I write letters to from channels that get copyright striked, and then I'm like, oh hey, I'm the lawyer for this channel. Please give me any information, let me know what court you want to go to, And they never respond back. And within like 7 days, the copyright strike just goes away. And then we're back to like zero again. I think I've handled like 8,000 copyright strikes so far. I don't know. I had to update my LinkedIn page. I think it's 8,000. Yeah, 8,000. And it's really easy, guys. Like, you just write them a letter. It takes me no time to write this letter, and it costs no money to write it. So you get copyright striked. I write you a letter saying, oh, you call me and say, oh, I got copyright strike. This is so unfair. So I listen to you for a while and nod my head. I say, yes, I'm nodding my head. And then I write the letter saying, okay, no, we agree that we think it is fair use. This is who I am. I'm the lawyer for this. That letter gets sent to the copyright striker, and out of 8,000, we only got responded to, I think, like maybe 80, like maybe 80 times. Like, it's hard to like describe because many times when these people are copyright striking a channel, they're copyright striking it like 20 times. So if you get free copyright strikes, you're out, right? Your channel's deleted. So they're striking it over copyright music a lot of times. So lawyers are not as expensive as everyone believes they are. We had this argument where people thought I was like defending like the thing because I said they should hire a lawyer. If you're gonna buy a business, paying a lawyer $500 to look over the paperwork and tell you what is missing or what trouble you could enter is worth it. How much is that business? $40,000, $80,000, $100,000, right? So would you spend $500 up front? And this is the same thing I talk about, like AC, HVAC. It's no different from any other roofing. It's no different from any other business model. You can fix your roof early and prevent it from decaying, or you can fix it later when it's collapsed. You can fix your plumbing issue today when you notice that there's an issue, or you can fix it 5 years ago from now, and they have to rewire your entire plumbing system. It's the same as exercising, eating healthy, and all this stuff. Eventually, it will catch up to you. Oh, yeah, I like that. Lust is a professional listener or is a sensitivity for women's needs. Shout out to Brauha Nika.
Concierge.
Not even that.
Someone who will consult you behind the scenes, and tell you how to break the law,
So,
like in the right way.
This is exactly correct. Yes. Like people are thinking these lawyers are like so expensive, and so they're not. Most problems I solve within like 15 to 30 minutes. Right? And these are big problems for big YouTubers.
My theory's always
Not
been
break
this.
the law. Make sure that you're not breaking the law.
No.
In a very
No, I meant what I
careful way.
said.
Well, my
okay.
theory's always been this. So it's like, if I do what a lawyer tells me to do, then they're going to expect it, you know, because they're going to be like, oh, the lawyer's probably telling them this, so now they know how to. It's like playing a bong cloud.
Oh, you have
in
a
chess.
felony. You don't have a criminal defense lawyer?
No.
You can't do that.
So, like, if anyone knows the value of having a good lawyer on call, it would be Ethan Klein, right? If anyone knows what a good lawyer is worth, it's Ethan Klein. No, the felony he's talking about is from a different unreleased video filmed nearly 3 years later. Okay, so watching the video, so the video got changed.
Yeah, at one point.
Okay, so the video I just watched that was made public was different from the video on Patreon. Let me repeat this again. There was some editing done to the video that was released. Okay? Specifically this part.
Point. They're trying so hard to arrest you without bail that you flee to Mexico.
Yeah, that was scary because
But
they're
you're
just
back.
making up all these. I'm back for the podcast right now, and I think there's like 2 other podcasts.
Is there
I'm
still a
back
warrant
for.
out for you?
I covered it, I think. I think I handled it. I already went to court for
Okay,
it.
good.
Okay, good.
But
Is fleeing to Mexico a crime?
I don't know. But I could always just say, hey, I got invited for the slackline competition, you know?
So, again, like, this is when, like, you just call your lawyer, 5 minutes, you ask, hey, I'm thinking about fleeing to Mexico. Should I do it? And your lawyer's going to tell you, no, don't do it. And that costs what, $5, $10 conversation? Yes, so I mean, again, I'm not going to go into the logistics of fleeing to Mexico. Oh, hey, this is an interesting one. This is my favorite people: Noah Sampson, Ethan Klein, and iDubbbz.
You know?
Well, now that you're on, but you got to keep your story.
I'm here for a
straight.
business reason. I'm a professional slackliner. I have to go to the
I know, but
slackline
you're
competition
saying right now that you fled. You just acknowledged that you fled to Mexico.
to do a slackline competition,
Yeah.
right?
Well, we'll be fine.
Well, it's a satire.
Even is kind of like, oh, geez. I like. Again, like having somebody tell you what the law is when you don't know what it is, and you're not aware of the consequences of it, just to tell you, inform you for $100 or less about what the consequences are of perhaps your actions, can save you a lot of money down the road, right? So whenever I have an AC issue or a roofing issue, I get it fixed right away. Whenever I have a health issue, especially with my daughter, we go to the doctor right away. We're not going to wait like a week later, you know, like when the situation is really, really bad. That's what I have personally found in life. That preventative measures are way cheaper than when your roof is collapsing under your head.
Entire podcast.
Yeah, it'd be fine. It's a
Yeah,
parody.
it's just jokes.
Maybe.
But no, like they were making up stories about me over and over and over.
In a leaked email obtained by Ben, BMM says they're updating their policies because so I can tell you from owning a Pokemon store where
Policy review.
I can tell you their biggest mistake. So Bricks and Minifig made a huge mistake. They made a huge mistake that I don't think they can actually explain away, and people don't know what it is. Because they don't own a Pokemon store. They don't own a Lego store. You know, bags and bags of Lego I have out in the garage or in storage. It's an inventory mistake. So when they kick out Crystal, the previous owner, they need a third party to take inventory. Let me repeat this again. So there was a issue, and this is 100% on Bricks and Minifig, and this is why I think they should pay out. And I wish I could talk to the CEO about it, Bricks and Minifig, because I think I could make him understand. Again, without seeming like I know it all, I think there's a unique situation that I know of, and that he knows of, that I can talk to the CEO of Bricks and Minifig, and he will take responsibility for it, because there's no way he cannot. So when you are taking over a new company, I've actually had this experience myself. Just recently, I attempted to buy a store, Magic. So instead of like building my new Pokemon card store, I was just going to buy one. And you need a third party to look at the inventory. They cannot trust me to look at the inventory. I cannot trust the current owner to look at the inventory. There are third-party companies out there. All they do is come to your store. They say, okay, you have this much Lego kits, you have this much. Okay, where's your storage room? Okay, you have this, you have this, there's this. No one knows where the Legos are. No one knows how many Legos was transferred over, or all of it, you know. Now, there's the idea that 30% of it was sold, and that was paid out to Menzel's, the family whose Legos got stolen. So I'm 100% on the side of the Menzel's. 100%. They deserve their money back. The previous owners, I don't know, because they were kicked out. I think they have a lawsuit that could work. But 100%, it's up to Bricks and Minifig to hire a third party, an independent third party, once they know a transfer of the store is happening that night, to go into the store, say, okay, everyone get out of the fucking store. We're going to count up every Lego, every figure. We're going to take pictures of everything, and we're going to document. This is before I had to, so I'm going to tell you like what store I was looking to buy. Yeah, I don't care. I was looking to buy this store December. It was on sale on December. It's this store right here. It's a comic book store. Yeah, it's a cool store. I highly recommend it. My friend, Steve, I think he still owns the store. And obviously, when you buy a store like this, a lot of it is inventory. A lot of it is inventory. And this is common practice. Okay? And even during the interview, and this is why I caught on, during the interview, the CEO of Bricks and Minifigure was on the interview last night. And he mentioned, okay, in the future, we're going to lose third party, but that's on you. So yeah, this is him. Shout out to the channel for getting him and his COO. Like, during this interview, which is very long, there was, he mentioned third party, like, people coming in. But that's what you need to do. That's what you need to do. Because, like, I, as the seller, am not going to trust you to be honest with your inventory. You, as the buyer, are not going to let me inventory your inventory, right? Because what if I don't buy your company? So the solution is you just hire a third-party auditor. And this is on them. This is on corporate. So, again, they're blaming, like, oh, the franchisee. They're blaming John. Like, a lot of people, but, so corporate is trying to kind of like we never agreed to the consignment. We never did this. We never made a mistake. We're fighting for justice. But this is one massive mistake they made. And I know it because I was trying to buy a store. And there does exist companies that do this. In fact, there's a lot of them. And they don't need to know Legos or anything. They just take photos of everything. It's almost like insurance. It's almost like insurance people, right? It's almost like the insurance people come and they want to know what how much money you should pay for insurance or how many. So there are insurance companies that also do this that insure collectible items like Legos for personal people as well as businesses. So if I had a collection of Magic cards and I said it's worth $1 million, a person would come in, they would take photos of everything, they would list everything, and then they would say, okay, well, we think it's worth $2 million. You need this insurance policy on it. And they also audit so like I said, this is their biggest mistake they made, and they admit the mistake. So if you made that mistake and you didn't audit the collection before kicking out Crystal, that's on corporate. Like, who else is there to blame? You're the one who should have hired the auditors. Or they call it something different. It's third-party verification. It's something, call it something different, right? But anytime you buy, like, a comic book store or a Yu-Gi-Oh store or a Magic store or a Pokemon card store, what you're buying is the inventory. But I can't trust you to be honest about the inventory, and you can't just give me the inventory because I might steal it, right? We don't, again, this is my friend Steve, but like we don't really know each other. What's the solution? Oh, the solution is to get a third party. He didn't do that. But let me be specific. In this podcast, which is very bizarre, he does this other times, but he didn't do this for this store. So he knows that he's going to take over the store. He knows that the store's most valuable assets are his inventory. And he didn't do it. But he's done it before. He actually knows what companies to hire. Like, the way that he said it, I was like, oh. Like, I was like, oh, he knows it. Like, he knows this is what he should be doing. He just didn't do it. So I can't find the timestamp. If you guys can look for the timestamp where he's mentioning, like, third-party verification, third-party auditor, something like this, right? But, like, once he mentioned that, I was like, oh, yeah, it is his mistake. It is his mistake. So, if I, as a buyer, buy this store here, and I don't either ask for an auditor or hire my own auditor, third-party auditor, that we both agree to, or we split the cost, something like this, I can't buy the store. I cannot buy the store. And that's the problem we had. That's exactly the problem I had, where I didn't buy the store because the inventory was messed up. And we couldn't agree on a third-party auditor. I had a few people, he had a few people, the inventory was messed up. He said there was like $200,000 of inventory. I thought there was only $100,000 when I looked at the stuff.
Review. We're actively reviewing internal policies to prevent similar transaction issues. Well, hold on. That seems like a little bit of an admission.
Yeah.
That one does seem like
They're
they're
like, oh, and
acknowledging
by
they
the way,
mishandled it.
we
Yeah.
may have mishandled this. Our procedures may not be correct. You just buried that in there, right?
Huh.
Yeah.
It is
Internal
interesting.
policies prevent similar transaction issues. Yeah, so maybe they updated their no consignment policy, because before they were saying like this consignment wasn't allowed, and that's the reason they were able to take over everything, was because the previous owner
told them
broke the
not to do
rules.
that, yeah.
But then a couple days ago, the previous owner gave me the whole franchise agreement, and it
Oh.
says consignments are allowed in the agreement.
These
So
people cannot
Wow.
escape you.
so their number one argument of why they were able to take over the store
That was
seems
what
to not
jumped
be.
out to me.
I mean, maybe it's more nuanced than
Yeah,
that, but
these people fucking hate you, and I love it because they cannot escape you.
yeah.
So, again, people are gonna say I'm victim blaming, but let me show you something. Like, this is something, I don't like GoFundMe's, right? I don't like them. I think they're kind of, I don't like how this is worded. Where's their video? Do you guys remember there was a video of this? I think it's under her channel. Let me show, like, again. Oh, okay, yes, this. So I don't agree with this statement.
Our Lego franchise.
So I do want them to win. So they're talking about GoFundMe, do not settle. So I do want them to win, but I think the best way, like, they had like some type of, maybe I'll look at like my video. They had some type of statement where like they said the best way for the Menzels to get their money is if we win a lawsuit, right? I guess they changed it. It looks like it's gone. Okay, I'm gonna look at my video because it looks like it's gone. Which I'm happy they removed it. But the best way for Menzel to get his money back is for you to donate to his GoFundMe, which is what Reckless Ben was trying to do. So this is a different battle. They're fighting. I hope they win. But they're fighting a different battle than Menzel. It's a different lawsuit. So if you want Menzel to get his Lego or you want to help him and his family... Oh, yeah, they did delete it. They did delete it because they don't even mention Menzel anymore. Let me pull it up. I didn't like that statement that they were making that the best way to help Brian Menzel get his collection back was to give us money. No, that's not true at all. Like, I'm trying to figure out where that was. Maybe here? Oh, yeah, it's probably here. Let's take a look. Maybe there are. Okay, we do have the legal doc. And now you thing like this into the bitter. Only have a now. I think it was worth. I'll find it later. I don't know where it was. But it was really weird. It was very weirdly worded. I'm gonna try and find it. It was really kind of weird. I don't like GoFundMe's in general. To be honest. Especially for legal matters. But I felt like this was kind of a weird kind of situation. Like, if you want to help Brian Menzel, donate to his GoFundMe directly. It's kind of like a weird situation to say, like, okay, you donate to my GoFundMe, then I'm going to sue Bricks and Minifigures, and when I win... here. It's in the Goosey Doc. Can Crystal and Ben sue Bricks and Motors for their own damage, plus the inventory money owed to Brian and his dad? And the answer is no, because they don't have the asset. The asset is still owned by the Menzels. So that was weird. But I think they deleted it. So we'll move on. That was kind of a weird thing to say. Is like, no. If you want to help Brian Menzel, just give Brian Menzel mother effing money himself. Donate to him. Don't donate to a legal fund that's going to pay their lawyers that could win. I hope they win. Bless them. I think they are victims. I hope they win. I'm not victim blaming them, right? Again, I hope they win. But it's weird to say, like, donate money to us because the only way that Brian gets his money back is if we win. That's just simply not true, right? From a logical standpoint, if you had $10, would Brian Menzel rather have you donate the money to him and his dad? Or would Brian Menzel say, hey, no, don't give me that $10 that you have. I want you to give that $10 to the previous store owner who I signed a consignment with, who doesn't even own my Legos. Because consignment doesn't mean ownership. When you sign a consignment, so when Crystal signed a consignment deal with Brian Menzel, it doesn't mean that Crystal owns the Legos. Ownership is still 100% Brian's. So how can you sue for something that you do not own? Yeah, that's the Alex. Yeah, that's thank you, Alex. Look, this is Ben's GoFundMe. It's almost there. It's really close. I think this is probably enough to make him full. How can you say? And this is again, it gives me like Noah Samson vibes, right? Where it's like, like I'll go back and take a look at it, but like, I got accused of victim blaming by pointing this out. But the best way to help Brian is to actually literally donate to Brian. Yeah? Right? Like, does this make sense, guys? Like, if you had $10 extra and you wanted to help Brian because you felt like really bad about, it's weird that they put that in there, and I'm positive I have that on live stream because it's been something that has been kind of annoying me that they said that. I'm not Amanda. Help us fight back. The craziest new development. Again, they accused Josh of being a heroin dealer. This is not super relevant to either their lawsuit or Brian's lawsuit. Yeah, the crazy development. Telling people we are selling heroin. So the heroin thing is really, I think, a red herring in my opinion. But yeah, I don't know where it is. Maybe somebody can find it for me. But yeah, it's a very interesting lawsuit. Maybe it was this. But yeah, if you want to help Brian, help Brian. If you want to help Crystal, help Crystal. I hate when they intermix these GoFundMes to make it seem like the only way. You know what? It probably was a YouTube video. Because I got some pretty weird comments on my YouTube video. Okay, I'm going down a rabbit hole because I don't have a Goosey right now. Anyway, we'll continue on, okay? Okay, updating policies, buying multiple franchises, and running them to the ground. Jesus.
You think they even care about Legos? Do you think that guy even builds Legos?
From what I've heard, Josh and Brand, I think Eamon does because he actually started out as a franchise owner. I think Eamon actually loves Lego.
Yeah.
However, Josh and Brandon, from what I've heard, they take over stores and the stores just go downhill because they don't care about Lego at all. Like their whole thing is just like,
that's a shame.
Asset protecting. Like how can we take something that's not legally mine and call it legally mine? That's their whole business. So they don't care about Lego. They just...
Yes, actually, our team has been digging into this individual, and I think it looks like Reckless Ben knows Josh Johnson better than we do, probably. Josh Johnson is in the business of stealing your shit. Allegedly. But we have proof. I could go on the Discord now to bring it up, but I think it was Ristic Siphon who showed it to me. But they literally are. So it's very weird, right? The one time you need a third-party auditor to figure out the inventory situation, you don't have one. Because, like, the person taking over the store is Josh. Now, in other cases, it looks like Bricks and Minifigs does hire third-party auditors to do it. Just not when it's Josh. So Josh has a very interesting background. Very interesting background. I'll put it that way for you.
Care about stealing Lego, you know?
Sounds like Mitt Romney's business.
Mitt Romney? Oh, when you like buy businesses and then just crap and then sell them? Got
And
that.
you know what?
Yes, you buy the business, then you got the business. Because the business is the assets, okay? Yeah, he does have a history. We're double checking and stuff right now, but there is an interesting history on Josh, specifically Josh Johnson. But yeah, that's the assets are the Legos. So it's so interesting that Justice takes over a Lego store. There's no inventory list of what was in the store, what was not in the store. And then, you know, but in other cases, Bricks and Minifigures audit when Joss is not. And once you figure out, once we can confirm what Joss's like job or previous like interests are in, then it makes sense to you what type of business he's in. Should I show it or not? I don't know. Goose, you probably say don't show it, but it's very interesting. Like, what we found out about Josh Johnson is there's a YouTube channel. Yes, a YouTube channel explaining this business model that really just seems like you're stealing shit, to be honest. Like, when I watched it, I was like, oh, okay. Okay, so they're just they're legally... Okay, let me... They have legally found a way to steal shit. And that's the premise of said business.
Wow.
Oh, okay, so... Ben says... Okay, so this is probably at the very end. Right? Okay, so we'll watch the very end. What Ben has to say.
How am I gonna do this? But drink some coffee and
You did good. No, you did great.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure speaking with you.
Oh, yes.
And,
Yes, Ristic Siphon is correct. We'll take a quick look. Gucci probably didn't want us to do this. Legally Mind. Yes, this is a company that he owned or run or allegedly is associated with. We don't know. So this is called an asset protection firm. They were engaged in the unauthorized practice of the law. So this is a bunch of non-lawyers threatening you with massive lawsuits unless you give up. Does that sound familiar? Does this sound familiar to anyone? This business model, where actually it was found to be illegal. The Supreme Court of Ohio found out that it was illegal. They were engaged in unauthorized practice of law, which means they were non-lawyers pretending that they were lawyers, which is, by the way, illegal. Does this sound similar to what's going on here? Where you have non-lawyers threatening criminal, civil. Like, it would be one thing if they were lawyers. I think they would be disbarred. I think... So, again, let's take a look at this article real fast. Again, allegedly... State Association of Legally Mind LLC. Even their name, Legally Mind LLC, suggests that they're lawyers. Okay. Legal Mind required to obtain receipt. Again, allegedly, there's some association with this company here. They do have a YouTube channel, I think. Legally Mind Events. Oh, this is them, I think. Yeah, let's take a look. Yes. I'm not going to play their video, but I'm pretty sure this is them. Look, Legally Mind. Legal Mindset. Oh, my God. It's Legal Mindset. It looks like them. Looks like an older version of Legal Mindset. This is our boy if he didn't go to Thailand. But anyway, allegedly, this is kind of a business model that can happen. Where you threaten to... You're not a lawyer, but you threaten to sue somebody so badly, you just steal their shit. Allegedly. Somebody really need to look into this a little bit more deeper, because they could be doing this to a lot more people. All right, let's continue on.
what happened with the actual Legos? Did they juggle them around like pedophiles in the Catholic Church?
I talked to...
Oh, jeez, even.
So there's 2 Bricks and Minifig stores really close to each other in Salem.
Yeah.
There's one in Eugene, which is about 2 hours south of the Kaiser, Oregon one.
Yeah.
And so Brandon and Josh own both stores. They're both the owners. So they're still the owners of this Eugene store.
Okay.
And I talked to I'm not gonna say, I don't want to get them in trouble. I talked to some anonymous people at the Eugene store, and they said we just got a big shipment of unopened Star Wars Lego sets.
There it is.
Fucking
They're-
scumbag.
So again, is there a reason they didn't hire a third-party auditor? Look, the plan is really simple. You own multiple stores. You steal the assets from one store. Then you take all the assets from one store. You move it to another store. And when the old... So again, I'm on Crystal's side. Again, I'm not victim blaming, right? They could have done things better, of course, if they had a lawyer in the beginning, right? Especially with the lease element. Like, could there just be a pattern of behavior, right, from maybe previous companies as well, where they take over your store, they don't actually, and this is why Bricks and Minifig, I think, is effed. They know they've used third-party auditors in the past for transfers of stores. I know that. The guy knows it. I see in his eyes. He basically told me as much. But he chose not to use it for Josh. Specifically Josh. Now, in Discovery, if it turns out like only Josh is not audited, but every other time there's a new store owner, they have a team to come in and audit. The team could even be from corporate. Let me repeat this again. If they're unable to find a team of people, a third-party team, having corporate come out and doing the inventory. Like, how can you turn over a store when you don't even know what the inventory is? You don't know where it is, what it is, how much it is. What if I want to give you a theoretical, again, this is my opinion. What if corporate was like, oh shit, these people have a lot of inventory. We're going to send Josh come in. Again, this is hypothetical, guys. We're going to send Josh in to steal all the inventory, send it to another store Josh owns. And when the store owner, Crystal, says, I'm going to sue you because you stole my inventory. What inventory? So it actually makes a lot of sense what they're doing. They're moving an asset, which is the Legos, of course. The only true asset of a Lego company is the blanking Legos. So they're moving the asset from one store to another store. And then they put their hands up and say, oh, we don't know where it went. And then they're saying, oh, Brian, come in the store. Do whatever you want, you know, like. And Brian comes in, and his Legos are gone. And then they blame Crystal, but it's really just sitting in the Eugene store. So, this is the Salem store that got closed down, I think. Like, yeah, it makes business sense. I mean, like, if you are in the business of taking people's stores over, how can you not have an inventory list? How can you not have an inventory list? Like, how can you buy a store and not know its inventory? But what if you did know that this particular store is fully loaded to the gills with expensive Star Wars? And we can steal it. We just go in, take all the Star Wars, put it in a truck, and move it to a different location. Easy. And when the store owner says, hey, what happened to Brian's consignment? We don't know. We never received it. And when Brian says, where's my consignment? Oh, come in, Brian. You can take a look around. And that was kind of their agreement. They had Brian look in the store, and there was nothing. Yeah, they're like, oh, take whatever you want. It's a bunch of shit, right? It's a bunch of shitty Legos. All the Star Wars boxes, collector box. That's the valuable stuff. That's all gone, because that's all literally being sold from a second store in Eugene, or in somewhere else. And what if that's their entire business model? They go into a store, they take it over, they sell all the assets, they zero out the store, then they close the store. The assets have moved to another store they own, and they're selling them for a lot of money. And now the store owner is screwed because he can't afford to sue them in court. Brian is sued because he can't even, like, They invite him. Hey, Brian, come here. You can pick whatever you want. Okay, well, nothing I own is in the store. It's all these shitty little, like, unboxed Legos. It's all these open Legos. My Legos were closed, and they were a collection. Okay, Brian, I guess it was never here. Okay, Brian, Crystal signed the agreement. You should be mad at Crystal. This is a very interesting allegation. I think it has some merit to it.
I'm bad.
Of course.
Brandon is the one who delivered them here. All the employees.
So wait, which one's Brandon?
The guy in the security cam footage. He's they play good cop, bad cop. There's Josh and Brandon. They're the two co-owners.
Oh, so okay, Josh is the guy who came outside of his house and stood with you awkwardly. Okay.
No, that was Brandon.
Okay.
Brandon's the guy who actually stood outside with me. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
so wait,
the
Josh. Wait, who
Josh
brought
is
it?
the one on the.
You said Josh
Photoshop
brought it
from
to
me.
them.
Brandon brought it to them. Yeah.
Okay, Brandon. Okay, I got it. So one of the owners.
And he said all the.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Icon is Muse. You inventory check we did every week. Now, if we were like a bigger store or we were a chain, we would do it every day. You inventory check what you have versus your point of sale system as often as you can, because things go missing, people steal stuff, and honestly, when you do online, you cannot double sell inventory. So it is wild to me that Bricks and Mortars Corporate, that and Joss and this other guy do not know inventory. It's wild that you would buy such a large asset, like at least, $400,000 of Legos, assuming, and not have an inventory list available almost every day about what you sold, so like, this business is either very poorly run for a $400 million business, it is incredibly poorly run, or it's just poorly run for Josh. I don't believe they get to $400 million with no inventory list based on their point of sale system. I don't believe they get to $400 million as a company having locations all around Houston. They have like 10 locations around me. This is a very big, and Houston is not like in love with Legos. Houston is just like whatever Legos, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 locations. I guess the Lego store is not a location. 8 Bricks and Minifigs. This is a big, big operation. How can they be so careless? They don't have an updated inventory. Again, maybe they don't do inventory every day. I get that. Okay, people get busy. Okay, cool. Maybe they don't do inventory every week. Okay, less likely, but okay, I get it. But God, how do you not have an inventory list when this guy's been at your store for like months and months and months and months and months and months? Like, it really doesn't make no sense. Yeah. By the way, this is the official GoFundMe. So if you want to donate money tonight, just donate a little bit of money here, like $5. Like, I think it really comes down to like the guy's 83-year-old dad. Yeah, people are donating as we speak, so it's pretty recent.
He's like, we just all know these are Brian's Legos.
That's crazy.
So
when did that happen? Like post all this stuff?
He said it was probably like a week ago or something, like 2 weeks ago.
Well.
So I guess they were still just in the store. So they've sold a lot of the sets. A lot of that, because they've been selling them for about 2 years now.
Jeez.
So a lot of them have been sold, but I guess the ones that are left over.
And they're
now,
not paying you guys at all.
Yeah, they're not paying. I mean, they don't have to pay me, but
or not you
paying,
guys. I guess like you as a team.
Yeah, they're not paying Brian at all. He's received nothing once the new stores. Well, when Crystal was the owner, it was working good for the first few months.
Mm-hmm.
She would keep the store's percent and pay Brian out.
Mm-hmm.
But the second the store got taken over, that was the last dollar he saw.
Bro, I hate these people.
Yeah, I mean, I think it really comes down to maybe Josh saw, hey, this store has a shit ton of assets. because again, they have $200,000 of Legos, maybe less. Let's call it $150,000 of Legos that most other stores are not going to have, because they're not going to consign at that large rate. They're not going to be. Brian is right. This is a Guinness record for Legos. Okay, so the chance of you finding another Lego like this, very tough, right? So they saw like an easy target to come in, take the Legos, move it to their other store, and then that would be an asset for that store. So that store is going to pay them out 100% instead of 40%. So it's really, really disgusting. Yeah. So this is the phone call with the CEO. Now, the CEO is a dummy. Let me put it this way. You do not go on live stream. If you are the CEO of Bricks and Minifig, you really think now's the time and place to go on live stream, you're an idiot. He is an idiot. Amon is a dumbass for coming on live stream, but I love it. I love it, right? Because you can actually see like how poorly run this organization is.
Here is where we stand today. We want to hear from you directly. We want to help
This is a CEO on the bottom. Shout out to ACOB, I guess ACOB.
facilitate a resolution of this through the proper channels, and that has not changed. We are willing to sit down with you with a professional mediator, one you're comfortable with, bring the consignment agreement you and the previous owner of the Salem, Oregon store created, bring your inventory list, bring whatever documentation you have, and we're not asking for perfection, we're asking for cooperation. We will bring everything we have too, and we will go through it together. We want to see this resolved. Brian, that's it. That's the offer. A mediator, a table, documentation, and a genuine effort to get your family to a fair place. No cameras, no stunts, no manufactured drama, just a real conversation. Now, I want to speak to the Lego community and our franchise family. There are more than 300 beloved Bricks and Minifigs locations across this country.
You have 300 of these, and like you're running the store with no, like this is nobody know their inventory. Are you telling me 300 stores have no idea at any given time what is consignment, what is not consignment, where their inventory is? No, you cannot run a company like this and not know inventory. This is a 100% inventory company. Meaning the most important thing for this company to run is a good point of sale system and inventory management. Yet, you have 300 stores, and you're telling me when a new owner comes, there's no inventory list for what the previous owner had. This is why I don't trust them, because it makes no sense. You cannot run a Lego, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon store and not know your inventory. It's impossible.
And Canada. Almost every single one of them is owned and operated by local families.
Like none. That's crazy.
What? It was mentioned that there was a reasonable offer, I think, in a blog post sent to Brian to settle the matter. Can you speak to like what that was? Was it a dollar? Was it a straight dollar value based on what you guys thought it would be, or I guess tell me what that offer was as best you can.
Can you be more specific? Are you?
There was a blog post or reference. What was a reasonable offer has been made to Brian as payment to settle the matter.
Oh, okay. I don't know if that's exactly it either, but I think what might have been
paraphrasing. I apologize.
Yeah, no, you're good. I think what might have been referenced was, I think originally those that ended up taking over the store, they found some sets in their store that they thought, you know what, like there's no way for us to know this, but some of these match this spreadsheet. Let's just offer to give these to them. Like we have no documentation that says otherwise, but let's just offer to give these.
So they offered for Brian to come in and then like pick the Legos he wanted. But this is after they stripped mined the store. They took all the best assets from the store, allegedly, again, this is according to Reckless Ben, they took all the best assets of the store, including Brian's collection, the majority of Brian's sealed collection. They sent it to a different store. Then they invited Brian to come in and try to locate the figures that are now at a different store. That was the offer. I don't know what is a worse offer. Carl Jobs offering $3,000 to settle with Billy Mitchell, or this offer. And Brian came in, looked around, didn't see anything, any of his sets, and then said, what's going on here?
These to them, because this is what was left in the aftermath of the transition. It wasn't very much, but they made the offer and said, hey, you can have all this. And that offer was not accepted at the time.
You can have all this garbage that's left over because all the Guinness Book record of Star Wars Legos is at a different store that we didn't invite you to. This is comically bad, right? Here's the problem. The solution for this guy is really simple. Hey, Joss is a bad actor. That other dude is a bad actor. We didn't know. Corporate is going to take back the 2 stores, or how many ever stores Joss owns, and we'll make it right. We have 300 franchisees. We gotta just sacrifice Joss. One dude we gotta sacrifice. We just pin it all on Joss. We as corporate, here's the crazy part. Corporate actually doesn't need to be involved in this, right? They got involved because they wanted to get involved to protect Josh. Let me repeat this again. Because the 300 stores are independently run franchisees, corporate does not need to give this store to Josh. Corporate can say, Crystal, we want you to find a buyer. We're going to approve the buyer, but we're not going to suggest a buyer for you. Instead, they said, oh, no, we got Josh. They should not be doing that, right? And at this point, Josh already has another store in Oregon, just conveniently a truck ride away. It's clear to me, again, allegations and so on, right? But Reckless Ben has made these things. I believe it. That the Lego sets were sent to a different store and sold at a different store. Now, I think if you go to Eugene store, and this is the evidence you would get, and you download their point of sale system, you're going to find a very close match to what the inventory list the Manzels had and what the other store was selling. But, this guy's so dumb he doesn't realize what's happening. I think he's so dumb that he might not know what's happening. Because he's looking at the point of sale system in the Salem store and saying, oh yeah, we didn't sell this stuff. Josh is right. But he's got to be looking at all of Josh's stores as a combination. He's only looking at one store saying that this is the one store that's my problem. The problem is not the store. The problem is Josh. And every other store Josh should have. And he's coming in to defend Josh, which makes no sense. Josh is destroying your business. And if Lego drops you, you're done. You're done. Because Lego's going to partner with one of your competitors. And they're going to be the official Lego resource though. And you're going to die. I don't think he understands what's happening right now. Lego partnered with him a week ago. This drama, Lego, trust me, people have been tweeting Lego, official. Lego knows. Lego knows. Lego is very, very protective of their brand, same as Nintendo. Lego has its own stores in Houston. I actually went to the Lego store in Willowbrook Mall. I think it bankrupt sometime. And they have nothing to sell you at this fucking store. It's next to Apple. It's not loading, but it's next to the Apple store. Yeah, so it's next to the Apple store. So they put it, and it kind of looks like an Apple store. Yeah, let's see the Lego store. Yeah, I was here. I went here like a year ago. They sell this like so like very quickly they could just cut off ties with them. You know, there's other smaller businesses, but probably more reliable, and then they're done. They're done
at the time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Again, that is not an offer Brian can accept.
Yeah. So
Imagine, like, you gave them $200,000 of Legos, then they invite you to the store, and it literally is just garbage that you can pick from. And they're like, you know what? You can pick any of this stuff here. And none of the stuff is the stuff that you originally gave them.
So, GIOP2 Rex Commander, shout out to the membership 2 months. Wants to know why the stuff wasn't just returned at the start.
Great question. Appreciate that. First and foremost, we did not know about the arrangement that was in place, and we believed that, and when we took over the store, again, as they did the inventory, there was very little inventory in the store. So the documentation.
Whoa. Could it be that before Josh did the inventory was moved somewhere? So again, Josh is kind of a weird actor based on his previous history. You know, non-lawyers acting as lawyers. I don't want to be associated with that company. So then they do the inventory, and they're like, oh, there's no Lego, there's no store. What about the other store? Did the other store suddenly have an influx of, like, older... Like, this is very easy to prove in Discovery. This is super easy to prove. I don't know if they can get to Discovery, because, like, they're trying to charge criminal, and that's, like, a mess. I hate that. But this would be super easy to prove in Discovery. Around the same time, did the other store Josh owned suddenly receive an influx of old, rare Lego figures? And if the answer is yes, they're effed beyond belief. They lose everything. There's nobody going to shop at their store no more. And that evidence either exists or it doesn't exist. So what Josh is saying, what Josh told him, and now he's repeating it back to you as corporate. Again, I don't know why he's so buddy-buddy with Josh, but, like, if I were him, I would run Josh over with a bus, and I would do it, like, 10 times to make sure he was dead. I would be like, oh, no. This guy's very shady. I had no idea he was doing this. I had no idea we took over the franchisees. And could it be that Josh's inventory does not show these Star Wars sets because Josh took them on some type of truck or car and moved them before he started counting inventory? That's gotta be number one question for him to ask Josh. Is I need to see Eugene, Oregon's point of sale system. What have you been selling this time? Right, he already has the list from Menzel's of what figures they own, what boxes. These are not common figures, by the way. These are very rare and hard to find sets that are in boxes in good condition. These are things that are basically, you know, once you have enough of them, let's say you had 10 of these sets from 2005, 2010, they're no longer making them anymore. That's why they have gone up in price so much. If suddenly another store Josh owns is selling these incredibly rare, old, vintage boxes, you got them dead to rights.
Like, and all the court records will show actually how much was in the store. So it's nowhere near the amount claimed.
Yeah.
So people keep wanting to say, well, you know, like, you had it and you should have returned it. Well, no, we didn't have it. And on top of that, those that were doing everything.
Where do you think it is now, man? Like, if you had to take best guess, I don't want to make you go through an answer you've already given.
It's in Josh's other store. Did anyone go to Josh? I think Reckless Ben needs to go. Like, somebody gotta go to Josh's other store ask their employees, because enough times passed, like, I guess they sold, but if you can show that there's like 10 or 20 of these older vintage boxes still at the store, this would blow open this case, like, wide open, right? Because these boxes are not easy to... There's a reason they go from $100 to like $1,000. You bought them for $100. You sat on them for 10 years. Now they're $1,000+. It's because they don't sell, and you can prove that on eBay. You can prove that these boxes are very rare, and the volume of sales on these vintage boxes is incredibly uncommon. So for a store to then have so many of them, it would be over, right? It would be over.
Already given a bunch of times. I apologize for that. And
Yeah,
cutting you off on that,
I'm not gonna.
where do you think it is? Okay,
But
it's probably
the social media post from 2023 says that it was removed to a secure offsite due to security reasons.
talk to me about the thefts. You had to have been you were. It's
Oh,
on
okay,
your
yeah, this
desk
is a
when one of your
break-in,
stores
yeah.
gets broken into. Is that fair to
Yeah,
say?
oh yeah, yeah.
Okay,
we
so
know.
how many? Because this is something that's barely been touched on. How many times would you? Well, again, it doesn't have to be exact, but were there multiple break-ins of that store when that inventory was there? Could some of it go?
I don't know if it was while it was there, but there were at least 4 or 5 different break-ins at that location.
So does that because that?
Okay, so if your location is getting broken in 4 or 5 times, you still don't keep an up-to-date inventory list? It makes no sense, right? Like, you are in the business of inventory, right? Somebody comes to your store, they want to buy, let's say, like, a Harry Potter figure, right? It's important that you have that Harry Potter figure. In fact, like, when I was looking at Bricks and Minifigs in Houston, all they care about is inventory on social media, right? So whenever they get new inventory, they post about it. Oh, here we go. We can click on this one. This one has only 2 reviews. Yeah, they show the inventory. There's like videos like this. I'm a BAM employee. We love our customers, but at Bricks and Minifigs means being certified employees. What the hell is a certified employee? Yeah, you show your... It's all about inventory. I don't understand what the hell's going on. Like when I owned a Pokemon store, everything we posted was about inventory. Because that's how people come to buy our shit. Like, they're not coming to our store to hang out and talk. They're coming because we have a certain set or a card. You telling me this stuff doesn't exist? For that one store? But like every other store, this is the only way you do sales. This is actually pretty cool. Like, no, look, this is... You telling me you selling some Legos and you're not posting daily pictures or videos or some type of evidence that they exist in it, like, very bizarre. Like, like, holy shit, it was bizarre because, like, having run a bit, like, look, they literally take pictures of their entire inventory because, look, this is what I'm talking about. Like, if I need an extra Lego figure, I need to see it. I'm like, oh, I need that figure. Cool. Oh, it's $10. Oh, cool. I need that figure. I need that. Like, this is what we do at my store all the time. Like, your store is not, like, super busy all the time, guys. There's a lot of downtime. During downtime, you take pictures of everything and you post it. That's it. They have a weekly store tour. Okay, that was May 25th. Okay, they probably do this every week. Okay, where's their other week? Look. Oh, my God, they post this every week. Their entire inventory. So you telling me that Josh is the only one not doing this? Even though this helps the store. Oh, shit. Let's go to Eugene, Oregon and see, like, what it's like. Bricks? That's what we did every week. We posted all of our cards and so on and so forth. We made YouTube videos and things like this. What's going on in Eugene, Oregon? Did he even have a Facebook page? Tumble. Oh, Eugene. That's them. Weekend vibes. Okay, I don't see no mother effing inventory. And they're only showing piece by piece. They're still not doing inventory videos. Look. They have all this inventory and they won't show it off. This is restock, so it's not like current inventory. This is like, what, 4 pieces? New additions, which... Let's go back to, like, way back when, to see if they were doing this. Way back when. Yeah, they're not showing, like, everything, look. They're just showing, like, their newest... I wonder if there's any reason that they're doing this. So apparently this is Josh's other story. It's very bizarre. It's very bizarre.
Because then that also explains why it was taken off site, some of that inventory.
Yeah, I mean, I would
according
assume so.
to lore, we don't know, right?
According to the written statements from the individual. Yeah.
Okay. Because last night,
Okay, here's consignment.
the third, I guess the whole consignments thing, it seems like there was some terms in there that allowed consignments. It seems like the handbook's been updated. I think before you even answer, I've learned, I think from your team, by the way, that it's more of a handbook. It's not something that anybody signs. Is that fair to say? And it's like, are you guys telling people when a new one's published, and are you saying they need to strictly adhere to that periodically? Like, what's the communication on when it's updated, if it's updated?
Yeah. No, it's updated regularly, but when we update things, we put them out as memos. This update is coming out and so forth. So it'll be incorporated into the franchise operations manual. The operations manual is technically signed in the sense that it's incorporated into the franchise agreement. It's the living portion of the franchise agreement. Therefore, they agree to.
Okay, I want to prove it to you right now how important inventory is. I didn't do this. This is something I did a long time ago when I was attempting to sell my I still have an inventory list from my store from 2022. Okay? I'm going to attempt to find it. I have an inventory list of every single Pokemon item and Magic item that I want that wasn't personal in my store. I've just realized, like, it is impossible to run anything without an inventory list. So then I must have an inventory list myself, yes? The answer is yes, I do have an inventory list. I'm trying to not show you, like, other stuff that might be weird, but I'm going to pull my inventory list. Inventory list. Cost of goods sold, motions. Okay, you know what? It's probably on my actual real email. Let's Google Drive. Okay. Give me a second. Let me pull my inventory list for you. It is crazy to me that they don't have an I've been out of business for 4 years. I still have an inventory list. It is wild to me that they would not have an inventory list. I hope I can find it for you guys, because I think it's really important to see it. That this is just how you do stuff. I don't know. Is this my inventory list? No, this is me buying cards. All logins, agreements. It's kind of hard to see from here. Pokemon card log, is that it? Pokemon card log. I think this is like part of it. Okay, so that's like, maybe it's like a folder. I haven't pulled it up in like forever. I have not seen my inventory list in forever, but it shouldn't be changed, other than some packs I open. But yeah, I'm trying to show you, like, this is like part of like what you do every day. Every day you you just log your inventory. I don't know why they're not doing that. Where is my inventory list? God, where is it? Did I send it some? Like, give me 2 seconds. Because I think this is important. I have to prove this to you. That this is not like me making this up and we're like having a good time and what like, you know. Let me prove to you how important the inventory list is. That I would still have my up-to-date inventory list. Just so many years later. 4 years later, I still have an up-to-date inventory list. That I still update when I open. Fuck me, Jesus. Holy moly. So I want to prove it to you without a shadow of a doubt that, like, this is not how a regular business operates. Where is the search button? God. Okay. I'm trying to find the search button for my emails. Oh, there's not even a search button. Are you kidding me? Okay. No, I gotta do this. I gotta do this for all of us. Okay. Inventory list. Black Friday and Christmas inventory list. Holy shit. Purchasing your inventory. Okay, that's 2021. I would like to know okay, that's me purchasing somebody else's inventory. Inventory list. Inventory Pokemon? Sorry, this is pretty boring, but I wanted to show you that this is real. Request for sponsorship. Purchase Pokemon from UK. Miss you. Oh, okay. Holy shit. Okay, here shit. So not in addition. Okay, I found it. We're good. I think I can show you this. Okay, so sometimes I make YouTube videos of my inventory list. This is like one of them. This is like an older video. It's not going to play, of course, because the video is private. Thank you. This is my Google Doc. Yeah. Okay, here. That's my inventory. This is my inventory. It's up to date to the booster pack. Like, this is how many tins I have. This is like all in storage. This is how many booster packs I have to the exact number. To the exact number. This is how many packs and check lanes and Call of Legend blisters. Like, it says Call of Legend. I'll show you this. Call of Legend blisters 4. This is the 4. Down to the 4. Okay? My checklist, even though I have not my inventory, even though I have not run it in 4 years, is up to date to the number. Cause when you're running this type of business, this is okay, here, I'll show it to you. I'll prove you everything I'm gonna tell you right now, because what I'm gonna say next is gonna really burn the Burning Shadows booster box, 3 of them. And you should know these are rare as hell. These are rare as hen's teeth right now. 2. And the third one is here. I will prove to you my inventory is exact. Because it has to be. So, I mean, I don't know what you guys can see, what you guys cannot see. That's free Burning Shadows booster boxes. These are old. These are incredibly valuable. These are essentially vintage Legos, if you will. Like, these things are not, vintage Legos are not cheaper than this. Okay? That's Burning Shadows. 4 Unbroken Bonds. To the number. 4 years later, after closing my store, I have, this is 2-2. And unbroken balance is like, what, 2,000, 3,000? I'm trying to show you, I'm not making this shit up. The fact that they have no inventory just like drives me insane. You cannot run this business. I have run the business, you know, like, and not have inventory to the number. So the fact that no one knows what the inventory is, where the items are, is crazy shit. You know? Every one of these today is either in storage or like in my home. I got, you know, like, okay. These are cases I have. There's Magic. I have another list of every single card over $10 my store has ever had. Or I currently own. And they don't have no inventory list. And in fact, look, this is what they're saying here. It's all about inventory. This whole thing is about inventory.
When Baker Bricks, performed their inventory on the Kaiser store, did corporate hand them the prior owner's existing inventory records to check against, or did they build the count from scratch? I'm trying to picture how that handoff worked.
What's
Thank you,
supposed to
Betsy.
happen? Thank you, Betsy.
Yeah. So,
I think Nick, of course they know what they have, guys. I'm trying to make the point here. You know to the single booster pack what you have. Shine tomorrow, if I have a good day with my daughter, we're gonna go outside, we're gonna do it. If like at 8 p.m. tomorrow and everything goes well, I'll talk about the police. I have a lot more to say about the police. I just didn't want to cover it tonight. Right, because we're doing the H3 Snark, and then we're doing this. But how can you be in the business of inventory, and you're accusing the previous... Nobody... The previous store owner doesn't know the inventory. The new store owner doesn't know the inventory. Corporate doesn't know the inventory. I don't understand at all how you can be in the business about collectible items, where any single collectible item... Let me show you something else. Any single collectible item can be worth, you know, just insane amounts of money, right? Oh, I gotta move my water. This would be a disaster. Water spilled in this card. So this is a Black Lotus. This is my personal copy I use for competitive EDHs, if you will. You need inventory because if something goes missing, you need to know what went missing. So a Black Lotus today goes for, I think, 20K in a good condition, which mine is. Every single card over $10 at the time my store closed was inventoried onto a giant list, as you guys see. Every Pokemon card, every Lego was in a list. I just gotta find it. It is astounding to me that this huge corporation with all these franchisees, still no one has a correct inventory list at the time of transfer. The reason I didn't buy that one company is I didn't feel comfortable with their inventory list. Right?
Every situation like this is pretty different and unique. We have a unified point of sale system, but that doesn't mean everyone follows the same structure and protocols on how to keep records.
Yeah, Dawn is correct. She says, my 15-year-old son has a Pokemon inventory. Yes, little kids have better inventory list than a $400 million company. Like, you cannot make this up.
The records in this situation were not well kept. And so we relied on a two-prong approach, making sure to document everything that was in the store at the time through photographic, video evidence, and so forth, and then turn around and try and utilize the records. Now, there's also some issues related to the fact that in order to transition the point of sale account so that we had greater access to some of the records with the individuals taking the inventory, we had to work through the company and they took a little bit longer of a time to help us get to that. So there were some disparate records for sure. But here's the other thing: a lot of these records we believe were not.
Yeah, Bam said sales records show most of Menzel's items sold before the transition. So if you have these records, just make them public, right? Why not just make them public? It's because you don't have the record. Like, this is a situation where, like, because I've owned a store before, I know how it's operating. So he can't, like, bullshit me on, like, all this corporate talk. I know for a fact you cannot run a Lego store without a solid inventory list. Because your inventory is what's selling. And to be quite frank with you, I have a point of sale system where if I had 10 booster packs of a card, and let's say I had, typically we'll get like 1,000 booster packs of a set. We'll get 1,000 booster packs of I'll pull out a Charizard, I guess. We'll get 1,000 booster packs of this. We'll get like, maybe not 1,000. We'll get like a few hundred. Let's say we get 100 of this. Okay? So my point of sale system, I enter 100 in. And then once this gets to 5, so a customer, so this is my point system. Once I check and scan for 5, and this happens in GameStop too. This happens in GameStop. It'll go beep, 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 beep. That tells me to restock this item. So the point of sale system has to be 100% accurate for that reason. Like, it's got to be accurate down to the number. So if you have 100 of these boxes and you put in 200, you're going to be effed because you're not going to know to restock the item. So at 5, so let's say I sell 95 of them. This is the 96 one I sold. The point of system will like light up and go, it will actually literally make a noise. So if you've ever tried to buy GameStop out of something, like, it'll make a noise. And it'll tell you there's like only 5 left. Or it'll tell you there's only 2 left. And in GameStop, it will automatically tell GameStop corporate to send more. But for me, it sends me a reminder to tell my distributor, hey, this is a good selling product. I need to buy more. So to not have an accurate point of sale system and inventory in it is 101. It's so bizarre to run a store in this manner. I'm not saying my store is the most advanced store. It was like 2014 to 2022. But at any given time, I had a very good understanding of where my inventory was because I would need to know to buy more inventory of a certain type. Right? It's just good business. I can't imagine a $400 million company not doing what a tiny little shop in Humble, Texas was doing. Right?
Not necessarily being kept on like some kind of inventory system. So there was a lot that had to be kind of reconciled back and forth. So it wasn't very easy.
Gotcha. Bits of Geek again with 300 up in the ante on this one. Bam has said sales records show most of Mansel's items sold before the transition to the Kaiser location. Since these POS records would clear Bam, would you commit to releasing the SKU level sales history publicly so people can see the timeline for themselves? I think that would do a lot to clear the air. It's an idea.
Yeah. All of that has to go through the court system. So technically, those will become part of the public record. So they will become part of the public record because it's going to be going through a court system.
Okay.
But why does it have to go through the court system? I don't understand. Why do you need to sue all these people? Right? It makes no sense. Like, he's like gun-ho on like putting Reckless Ben in jail, which is horrible.
Let me do this. What is changing based on this? Like, is there some?
This is the part.
Flight.
Okay, guys, this is the part I can comment the most on, guys. Why do you not use third-party inventory accountants to oversee this? This is the part. This is the part. We waited all night. I'm going to like expose like him like really badly.
Right, but are there like a big 3 to 5 things that are going to change? And we're not talking PR and that kind of stuff. Like fundamentally, operationally, what's going to change? And if it involves PR, I don't want to remove that from the table. But
sure.
what can we do better next time operationally and for your franchises?
Yep. Ensuring that every franchise system is.
The chatter that asked that is very smart chatter. Yes, it is very smart. Thank you. Oh, it's WM. Okay. Okay, shout out to WM. Very funny. Yeah, it's very good. Very good, yes. That was a very smart question, WM.
Like every franchisee is using the approved accounting and inventory methodology. So
you have 300 franchisees, and everyone's doing accounting differently. Everyone's doing inventory management differently. Some of them are not even doing accounting or inventory management properly. Isn't that the corporate's responsibility to make sure everyone's accounting and inventory management is done correctly? Like, I'm trying to tell you, this cannot be how they operate a business for, like, 280 of their stores. And the reason is because they would go bankrupt. Okay? If you operated the business in the way that he is depicting Josh's store is operating in, where there's no updated inventory, there's no point of sale system, they don't know what they're selling or buying, right? The store will go bankrupt within 3 months. Like, it just cannot operate that way because you are in inventory management. That is what you do. You have thousands, hundreds of thousands of different type of Legos, minifigs, and so on. Whether somebody goes to this minifig or goes to a competitor will depend solely on if you have the minifig they want, or you have the set they want, or you have the box they want, right? And then the price, of course.
Ensuring that we have a standard inventory methodology, and that's number one. Number two.
So you built a company to $400 million, 300 stores, and you still today do not have a standard inventory methodology. What the fuck are the franchisees paying for? So this is where I blame corporate. How can you get to this size and not have a standard inventory methodology? We're not asking everyone to submit like their stuff every Friday. I'm just saying like there's not even a standard inventory. In fact, some people are not even, according to Josh, some people are not even keeping their inventory. Some people have no idea what their inventory is in this business model.
Two, greater insights through field visits to ensure that, like in inspecting records to see if there's more inventory in store than it shows up on the records or less, then like we'll know that some action needs to be, corrective action needs to be taken. So we're putting some greater oversight and insight in place to ensure that there's no unauthorized, consignment type agreements.
So this is why they're guilty. This is like him admitting the boo-boo. He's saying it's our fault for not catching the consignment agreement. So again, if you believe everything he's saying, he had no idea there was a consignment agreement. But if the inventory and the point of sale system, it should have alerted corporate, hey, this store in Salem has $200,000 more inventory than any other store around it. Why is that the case? So if the inventory was correctly put into the system, corporate would have immediately knew. So the corporate should have immediately knew. And they did know. I think they did know that something has happened in this store that is unique, that's different from every other store today. Because these other stores have $200,000 inventory, let's say. Suddenly, this store goes from $200,000 of inventory to $400,000 of inventory. That should set some type of alert to corporate, and corporate can then call and say, hey, how in the world do you guys double your inventory? And then they would be like, oh, it was a consignment, da-da-da-da-da. And that's assuming they didn't know. So it is their fault So he's admitting it is our fault we didn't know. Whether or not they knew, right? Because they were advertising on Facebook and so on. Like, if you agree with everything he says up to this point, he's still wrong. Corporate's still wrong. Because it is up to corporate to figure out the inventory issue. If somebody doubles their inventory overnight, wouldn't you call them and ask them, hey, you know, how you guys double your inventory? Oh, consignment agreement, right? Like, oh, cool. Send it over to us. This company is not run like any... So many of my friends own local game stores till this day. I own one from 2014 to 2022. He's saying this shit because, like, people might believe it. But I'm telling you, as somebody who's actually run a Lego store, he's lying. He is lying. Not only is he lying, he's being very manipulative. Now he's like, oh, well, we made all these changes now. The only reason you made these changes was because you made a mistake. Yes, that's corporate. And the mistake is a very elementary, very basic mistake that no store should ever make. Okay, no store. If I doubled my inventory, how in the world is that not reflected anywhere on my point of sale system? I literally doubled my inventory, and that's not on my point of sale system. There's a disconnect that does not exist. I can tell you 100% that does not exist. Because for them to sell the 30% Lego sets, it has to be put on the point of sale system. So I'm telling you, corporate knew. Because all that inventory, all those SKU numbers that didn't previously exist, for Crystal to sell a vintage SKU Lego figure, it had to be added to inventory because it's not recent. It had to be added, sorry, not to inventory. It had to be added to the point. So even if the inventory list is messed up, doesn't make any sense, the point of sale system cannot be messed up because they're literally selling the SKUs at the time. So there's no way corporate does not know, even at 30%, a lot of vintage figures came in. Because they're selling them. So to sell them, they have to be put into the system. Otherwise, they wouldn't scan. The barcode wouldn't scan. That's what I'm here to tell you guys. Is unless you run a store, you don't know that. And for tax reasons, there's a million reasons you have to put your new inventory into your point of sales, including taxes, right? There's no way you get $200,000 of inventory and that's not put into point of sale system, and that does not a alert is given to corporate to tell, hey, these guys got way more inventory than everyone else. In fact, their SKUs, their numbers of the barcodes here, you know, where's the barcode? That there's suddenly a flood of really unique barcodes that no other store around us or that we have, because these are Lego figures that are 10, 15, 20 years old. So anytime somebody, let's say this is not 20 years. Let's say this is 20 years old. This is a 20-year-old Lego figure. It's about the same size. If there's a customer who is looking for this Lego figure, and it's a very rare, unique, and old Lego figure, and very expensive, and we're in Eugene, Oregon, and we're trying to find this Lego figure, the corporate should show that the figure is in stock at a different location, in the Salem location. This is what Target does. This is what Best Buy did. So let's say you go to Best Buy, and Best Buy doesn't have the TV you want. They're going to go into Best Buy computer system, like, oh, hey, if you're willing to drive or we can get it shipped to us, anyone who works in retail knows this. The TV is not in our store, but it's in the store next to us. Or maybe it's 5 miles away. We'll just have it shipped to us and you can pick it up tomorrow. There's no way they don't know this. They are lying about this part. It is impossible to sell without putting into a point of sale system. And because the figures are so unique, the SQUs are going to be like the one of maybe 10 or 5 or sometime 1 and 1. Oh yeah, Mira says, thank you for the $5. Crystal put stickers on Brian's sets to mark them, but new owners took them off. Is this money laundering, mixing clean and stolen inventory together? Yeah. I don't want to talk about... We'll talk about the criminal stuff tomorrow, because I think there's a lot to cover. There's like so much to cover. But this stuff drives me crazy, because it sounds okay. But yeah, thank you so much for the $5. Answer is it could be money laundering, right? It could be. But I think it's something worse. I think it's asset, not protection, but like it's stealing people's assets and then putting it in a different store, selling them and pretending they're your assets. So a lot of what he said here is wrong because it couldn't possibly be what he's saying. So inventory list, fine. Crystal didn't keep her inventory list. Let's believe that for a second. But how the hell is Crystal selling these if they're not in the point of sale system? The answer is you cannot sell it. You cannot sell an item, any item, vintage, old, whatever, unless it's put into the point of sale system, which seems to now be controlled by corporate. So, it's weird. It's very strange, and it never happens in real life.
Let me do this. What is changing based on this? Like, is there some? I mean, it's probably in flight, right?
So again, and the reality of actually owning a store.
This is another interesting one. So I don't know if he was just
this
taunting
can never
you,
happen.
You've had conversations with, I believe it was Josh on the phone, saying if you do the following, apologize. That whole part of the story, we don't have to retell it, but like if you apologize, whatever. To BAM and yada yada yada, I'll give you your stuff back. I mean, do you see that as an admission of guilt, or is he just doing a big dick contest just to get him to jump? What do you think's happening?
No, none of the above. So,
so that means he did have the sets. If he's saying I'll give you your sets back,
not that either. So what ended up happening is during this period of time, there was a significant amount of harassment and death threats and other things that were happening at the store. And after an initial offer, like there was a time that somebody came into the store, like from that side that, said, hey, here's this stuff. And there was an offer like, hey, here's some things just on our shelves. If like, this is all we've got, but if this is what you want, sure, you can just take this. Does this one belong?
Here's all the junk that we don't want. We've moved all the stuff that you gave us to a different store. Do you want this junk? It would be like if somebody sold me or somebody sent me a bunch of like these boxes, and I took all the boxes to a different store, and then like all I had was like this mini tin. It would be like, no, I can't take the mini tin. I want my box back. Now this is a cute mini tin, of course, but it's not worth the value of my box. So of course they couldn't agree to that. It's like Carl Jobs offering $3,000 as settlement offer for a $400,000 loss. It's like, it doesn't make sense. You're giving like vintage Star Wars toys for like pieces of garbage. And there are a lot of garbage at these bricks and minifigs. There's a lot of like empty sets that are missing pieces. There's a lot of sets that like are not complete. Trust me when I say this, there's a lot of junk that they have in their store.
Belong to you? And he said, no, that one's not mine. Okay, well, what about this one? No, that one's not mine. Well, how can you tell? I don't know, but that one's not mine.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the initial offer.
What's the identifier? I don't know to this level.
We didn't know.
No, I'm just saying, like,
that's part of what we were asking for
sure,
a long
but what's
time.
the protocol? Like, in other words, or is there one? Let me give you an example. There's two of the same set, right? And because you don't have anything for consignment, this might explain it, right? But like, if there's two copies of this set, there's no historicals on when that set came in from a specific trade versus one that came in 2 weeks later. If it's 2 copies of the same set number, it's just 2 copies. Is that kind of how?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Unless
No!
there is something like that. There's this one's the damaged one.
Yes. Okay. Now I'm gonna grind this guy like to pieces. So in collecting, the condition of your Legos is it complete? Is the box complete? I have some boxes of Legos. If I was smarter, I would bring them over. But like the condition of the box makes a huge difference. The condition of a Pokemon card, a Charizard, PSA 10 perfect condition, is worth $500,000. A Charizard PSA 1 is worth $10,000. Like really bad condition. So this is another reason I don't believe what he's saying. Is because in the collector community, which Lego is a collector community, similar to Pokemon, similar to comics, Magic, it's the same thing. The condition is king. A slightly damaged rip on a box can affect the condition by 95%. Because people are grading these Lego sets. Another thing that no one really knows is many of these collectors grade their Lego sets. And they put them in these like little boxes, I guess. Let's see, grading Legos. So, a lot of people, they grade their Lego sets. And their Lego figures. Let's see, images. Yeah, they get these grades here. Now, I don't think this is a reputable company. Okay, this is a YouTube video. But they grade Lego sets, so the condition of a Lego set is never the same. So even though Brian might have one Lego set, the condition of a second Lego set may be different. Yeah, so 9.5. So collectors are incredibly picky, especially Star Wars. Especially Star Wars collectors. The one thing you own as a store, the one thing that hasn't been mentioned here, is the reason Brian's collection is so valuable is it's in mint condition. Okay? You can't just give like a shitty copy of the same box. It's not the same thing. The price is not the same. And he knows this, because anyone who does collectible toys knows this basic fact. Especially for boxes that can easily get ripped, damaged, bumped. It does not make any sense what they're saying.
It has a dent in the corner or something along those lines. But because consignment is not part of our whole process, we don't have a policy or process in place for how to separate consigned inventory. And so because of that, there was nothing that identified these, at least that we could tell. We kept asking, is there anything that identifies these there?
Incorrect. I'm going to prove to him right now there is an identification to it. Book of record mystery pack. Okay, we're gonna take a look at this. For Alex Ketchum, hey, shout out to Alex Ketchum. Let me show you this.
I was minding my own car.
This guy's a great channel. I'm not gonna show you the whole video. Maybe I have to.
Shop in a business when. What the?
Yeah.
One Crota raid, like and subscribe.
Look, and Pokemon cards. This is a Guinness Book of Records. You guys, unless you're like a nerd like me, you have no idea what the hell's going on, right? This is a Guinness Book of Records holder. So it's called part of the largest collection of Pokemon cards. So this is an identifier that a grading company did. If this company had any sense of business, they would get all these sets graded or stickered because it adds value to the set. Like when you know, so Brian's set is unique. And they know it's unique, okay? Let me go to Reckless Ben. So this is another reason that I think this is like a show BS, right? Where's Reckless Ben's video? Let me play it. This video.
And he made it seem like I
can't bring any stress to him.
Every time one gets sold, the store gets to keep a small percentage of each sale.
All right, it's right here.
Bricks and Minifigs.
Bricks and Minifigs, the biggest toy store of.
In the contract, it says that these are still the family's Lego sets, but every time one. This man spent his life collecting what's now known as the world's largest Lego Star Wars collection ever. It's estimated to be worth around $200,000. And then the entire thing.
He has a Guinness Book of Records on this collection. We're going to promote the hell out of this, man. We're going to put stickers that say part of the, just like we did here. Because we can charge a buttload of money. Guys, we can charge a buttload of money for this. Oh, Mastoff, thank you for the $19.99. You should also mention that Brian's collection was probably on the radar of other collectors. Absolutely. It is possible that Bricks HQ executed his plan to steal the collection the moment it was known to be with France. Yes. So we actually talked about that as a possibility. That Joss, as like an asset reclaimer, saw that this huge collection came in. And Crystal was going to sell the store. And he wanted to steal, like, allegedly steal it. But, like, in the collecting community, there is value to this. Look. They're charging, like, God knows how much money for, like, this record holding. I believe Crystal. I believe what Crystal said. They probably put a sticker on it saying that this is a Guinness Book record selling collection. Because it would make it easier to sell. It would make the collections more valuable. And like Mastoff said, there are collectors. Again, this is a known collection. This must be a known collection among the Lego community. Okay? Because it's a Guinness Book record for Star Wars. So if you are a Star Wars collector and you're missing a few, or you like a few sets, and this guy has the world record for it, you now know where to go because you can get the set. And it probably has a sticker, and it's really cool. It is really, really cool to have part of that collection, right? Oh, I sent you a drive on Discord of the stickers. Okay, great, yeah. Yeah, let me see if we can get the stickers. I don't know, like, they tell me, like, not to log into Discord sometimes. I guess I can't show, like, drive on Discord. So what's the sticker? Oh, here we go. Oh, they do have stickers. Yeah, they do have stickers. Look. They have yellow stickers. I would absolutely want to know that my collection was part... Yeah, there's no way that they have stickers. Look at this. Look at how old these collections must be like 15, 20 years old. Look, I would add more money, and people do this, to buy a Lego set if I knew it was part of this collection, because I think it's cool. And I'm not the only nerd who thinks this is cool. So when the largest Star Wars Lego collection that has a Guinness Book of Records attached to it, fuck it, I would actually buy the Guinness Book of Records. That would be cool to display, right? I absolutely want to know that it came from this. Look at this. It's got the yellow sticker. So he is straight up lying about this shit now.
Right. But are there like a...
Terrible. Yeah, let me tell you, this is... Like, I would pay a premium to buy from this collection, guys. I would pay above market price knowing that the collection I bought came from a dude who's 83 and has a Guinness Book of Records, and that was part of my collection. That I get, my personal collection, of course. I wouldn't resell it. Now, if I'm Josh and I hate fucking Legos, it means nothing to Josh. It means nothing to this guy. Let me repeat this again. There's something wrong with this guy in this company. Because if he truly was a Lego collector, he would know. He would know that the reason that you would identify this set as coming from the Guinness Book of Record holder is it because Lego collectors go crazy for that shit. But he either didn't know or he's lying. I don't know what is worse. The CEO of a Lego company of 300 stores does not know that. Or he's covering for Josh, right?
Like a big 3 to 5 things that are going to change. And we're not talking PR and that kind of stuff. Like fundamentally, operationally, what's going to change?
Oh, okay. We'll click here.
I think that's why I was asking you earlier, like knowing that those things happen now, you still wouldn't have made it go away sooner. Because we keep leaning on that on one side or the other. And I'm not trying, like, you know.
If this guy pulled it.
There was a
that was the inventory list, by the way. That was the inventory list.
Hypothetical, and somebody, you know, like had a train of people and said, well, if this is gonna, if you say these magic words and if you do this, you know, these 3 people aren't gonna die. Sure.
Jesus Christ. This is H3 Snark. We're just talking about hypothetically, would you return the Lego sets? And he's talking about people being run over by a train. He's talking about 3 people being run over by a train. That's his analogy to this situation that he's in.
Sure. But nobody has the ability to have a crystal ball. Nobody is able to do some of that stuff.
And that's why I throw it hypothetical. We know it's not real. It's past that point at this point, right? That's why I was saying, but if you could, but I get it. It's fine.
Like, I guess bottom line is we would, right? Because it's not worth the hassle and issue of people's lives being threatened. But the reality is, what a horrible world we live in, where people can just threaten and intimidate people into, you know, taking money from them. And to me, that's
yes, what a horrible world we live in, where Josh can threaten people by going to jail and literally like take their assets away by threatening to sue them and saying, ha ha ha, you don't have money to sue me. Sue me, sue me, sue me, sue me, like sue me, sue me, sue me. And when he gets sued, well, why do you sue me? What a terrible world we live in, right? I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that at all. And it's very ironic.
That's just a hard thing to do. Say like, yeah, would I want to make sure everyone was protected?
Oh, shout out to ACOB. You guys killed it. You guys killed it, man. You guys did, I mean, you guys, yeah, so the people making the video that got him on is actually in the chat, and you guys did really, really good. And I understand how it is, because we had Destiny on chat too, like, and my audience like, why didn't you grow him more? Why not? Like, you don't want him to flee, right? It's like Pokemon. You're throwing out the bait. You can't throw too many rocks. Occasionally, you can throw a rock at him, right? Like, if you ever, like, played Pokemon Safari Zone, you can bait him, and then you throw a rock. But you can't, like, throw rock after rock after rock after rock, right? He's just gonna run away. But I thought you guys did a... No, you didn't suck. I get it, because I have done Destiny, and that was a... I was like, oh, why didn't you say Destiny sucks? Why didn't you say that? Look, you got to, like, you did it perfectly, in my opinion. Like, you don't want him to be uncomfortable and then leave. People don't get that. People don't understand why didn't you talk about the Mormon. The Mormon stuff would have made it uncomfortable. He would have left. I agree with you, because I saw your video on this. Had you talked about the Mormon stuff and the police stuff, like, more, he would have fled. He would have just took his ball and went home, right? So you guys did the best. Like, a lot of people don't understand that, right? They don't get this. They don't get it. He's a guest on your channel. Even if you believe he is wrong, even if you believe, like, he could have done things better, he's a guest. You can't keep throwing, you know, like, again. But yeah, shout out to you guys. I mean, not only this interview was really good. I don't know. I hope you get more of them. But not only was this interview really good, this interview was really good too. This one right here. I thought this interview was great. Yeah, exactly. It's like you can't ask him to admit guilt on live stream. He's currently in a legal case. Like, hey, are you guilty? yeah, I'm guilty. Everyone just clap and it's over, right? If only it was like that, right? But like, in terms of like getting him on, wow, that was the first one was wild. That was crazy, and you did a really good job. You threw him a few softballs, and then you hit him with like a peg. Then you pegged him, and then you threw him a few softballs. Then you pegged him. I mean, they did let me put it this way. They did such a good job. He was on for 2 hours. Do you think if he just attacked, this guy would even stay for like 20 minutes? No. There were some really amazing questions that we got to hear from. And it's amazing. This ACOB, fantastic interviews. This interview, other interview, shout out to them. If you haven't seen their interviews, watch them. It's very, very good. Absolute. Yeah, Ryan is Ryan. Like, again, you guys did a good job. I thought the interview was great. I thought there was a lot of content. We're probably going to finish up, but yeah, give them a follow, guys.
I mean, do you see that as an admission
honestly,
of guilt, or is he just
like, who knows who else they'll have on? Honest to God, who knows who else these guys will have on? Like, you know,
just doing it?
They had the CEO. I mean, I would not be shocked at this point in time if ACOB was able to get Josh Johnson on. Right? That's the guy. Josh Johnson. Like, I mean, you had the CEO on. That was an incredible catch. Amazing. The only person that would be more interesting would be probably Josh Johnson. And I'm positive these guys can do it. Right? Stay tuned. Yeah. Subscribe to them because Josh might be getting on soon. And that would be a barn burner, right? To like hear from Josh, his perspective of the situation.
Doing a big dick contest just to get him to jump. What do you think's happening?
No, none of the above. So,
so that means he did have the sets. If he's saying, "I'll give you your sets back,"
nope, not that either. So what ended up happening is during this period of time there was.
I mean, do you see that as an admission
of
guilt, or is he just doing a big dick contest just to get him to jump? What do you think's happening?
No, none of the above. So
so that means he did have. I did tell him, and I was asking them. So for people asking me to ask him again, if you want him asked in a different way, Ben, send them to me. But I felt like I covered them. Whether they were answered to satisfaction is a whole nother case. But people are saying that I'm like, we did. I read them verbatim. So let's see. Brian, and this is kind of what I'm getting at too. Brian's sets went missing under Bam's watch. This is undisputed. Why Bam hasn't taken responsibility and compensated Brian's family? Why are you not doing everything you can to locate the missing sets instead of fighting Brian in court?
So again, our stance is we want to work with Brian. So we're inviting Brian to come and work with us to try and find what happened to any missing sets. But
so if he contacts you, you would then lift the order. How would that have to work? Or is it just about content?
The order doesn't prevent him from working with us.
It's just content. Okay. It was about videos, right? That's the only one that's out there.
There's plenty of things.
So like, okay, let's say I want to talk to you. Let me sue you first, and then let's talk. No, that's not how you talk to human beings, dude. Like, if you want to talk to Brian, talk to Brian. Let me tell you something that happened on to Marriott. Something that happened to me. I went to my sister's wedding, and we stayed at, like, a Marriott, right? And then, like, my parents, they're Asian, and there's not many people who are Asian in this Marriott. The Marriott gave keys to another Asian couple thinking they were my parents, and while my parents were sleeping, the Asian couple went into the room, and then once they found out there were people sleeping, they went downstairs. Do you know what Marriott did? Marriott sent a manager to fly in, meet my parents, say, we're going to refund you everything, every dollar. Whatever you want to eat here, whatever you want to do is fine. We'll comp everything. That's what Marriott did. For my dad's a lawyer, I'm a lawyer. Okay, fair enough, right? But like, that's what they should have done. He should have flown out to the store in Salem, shook the guy's hand, say, Brian, I'm going to make sure personally everything I can do to make sure you and your father are made whole. If it's going to come out of my own pockets, it comes out of my own pockets. If it's corporate, it's corporate. And then done that. Instead, they're threatening lawsuits. They're threatening to put Reckless Ben in jail for life. Right? And now they want to work with Brian. Now, at this point in time, they want to work with Brian. After threatening to put... They're suing Brian right now as we speak. Brian is on the TRO, the restraining order, the temporary restraining order. Brian's name is on it. It is mind-blowing. Like, just like, so let me tell, that's the Marriott. They clearly are not the Marriott.
Plenty of things that are, I'm sure, that are in there, but it definitely, like, that's if you're not familiar with the legal system really drives people to try and work out their problems before forcing a judge to make a call. So that they like, there's going to be mandatory, like mediation oftentimes. There's lots of things, they'll say, like, you have to at least try mediation 3 different times before the judge will actually. Yeah,
the one thing I will say about ACOB, they had some really intelligent audience members in chat that night. So, I mean, yeah, the chat was on fire that night with really good questions.
Take a look at some of this stuff.
This is another one that came up quite a bit. Like, why didn't anyone respond to the court cases in Salem when it was raised?
Again, this is kind of an example of the manipulation that's gone on in the video. All of those were filed against parties that had, like, with parties that actually had no bearing on it, and against entities that either didn't exist or were not related to the parties at all. They were all fictitious. They were all dismissed. In fact, we have the documentation from the court that shows every single one of them was dismissed, not default on dismissed. So there's a call section in the video where, like, oh, we got it by default. That's all fabricated. Completely made up. Didn't.
Well, I'll look into that. I'll look into whether or not this is true with my team. This is something that we should be able to find, whether it's a default or whether it's fabricated. Okay, so we're done. It's almost 3 hours. I promise you a long stream, and that's what we delivered. Absolutely give these guys a watch, guys. They're great. They're great. And I'm so happy that people in the Lego community, yeah, I took the cues from all over. The title of the podcast wasn't BS. It was your question. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you did a very good job. Very good job. Give them a subscribe because you don't know what they're going to do next. Give them a subscribe. You don't know what they're going to do next. And I'm so happy as somebody who is part of the Lego community. I don't make Lego videos like they do, but I'm so happy that, like, the Lego community is speaking out, because that's who if you talk about who's going to damage this company the most, it's going to be people who buy Legos. It's going to be people who buy Legos. If you want to give a message to corporate, vote with your wallet. Vote with your wallet. Right? Because I can tell you that hurts a store more than any negative reviews. Right? More than any negative reviews, any YouTube video. Like, if you are a Lego collector and you go to a Bricks and Minifig and you continue to support them, I get it, it's a franchisee, it's a fan, that's all kind of like whatever, right? Trust me, when the franchisee hurts, they tell the franchisor, hey, you're hurting us, do something. And if enough people are telling the CEO, he's going to do something about it, right? Yeah, nice meeting you, ASCOB. Great channel. And maybe we'll cover the the criminal stuff a little later. Yeah, a fantastic video. And in fact, this video is very well worth watching too. This video here. The former Brick and Minifig owner. I mean, again, there's so much stuff happening. It's really hard to like get all of it, but these two videos combined will kind of be a very good basis as to like what's happening right now. All right. It's time for me to eat my late night snack, read my daughter a bedtime story, enjoy my air conditioning that is now fixed, and I'll see you guys maybe tomorrow, guys, okay? All right. Shout out to everyone who's fighting the good fight, because it needs to be fought.